This is a beat Culex tutorial for Super Mario RPG. I'm just incredible, and I will be giving you guys a walkthrough of the beat Culex route with the new strats and new stuff that's been found since last year. So that includes Skip Pando that includes the Clown Manip. Optimally, it does include Skip Booster Pass Secret, but depending on your skill level, you may need to utilize the Booster Pass Secret for items, depending on your experience level. So with that, we're going to go ahead and start. I will be playing it live in English, and I will be using my personal best video that's played in Japanese for some of the visuals that you'll be seeing. This won't cover the Punch Manip. That'll be for another time. It really doesn't have an impact on the route whatsoever. For notation, when I say buffer a specific direction, north, south, east, and west are up, down, left, right type of inputs, and diagonal is like northwest, southwest, etc. So you start facing northeast, do a quick north and northeast, and then you jump over those two terrapins. If you know how to do terrapin manip, this should be fairly simple. You just gotta know the frames to confirm on. So that one, I have to delay the input just slightly to get the right frames to get the one punch. Now, I exhaust my 3 jumps that I have because I get an HP restore there after that boss fight. And you have to power up jump for the early game, just like you do in any percent. Most of what you see is the same in any percent, with a few deviations. What's up, Kyle? So we're going to advance the text. You can use any of the face buttons and actually the D-pad to advance text in battle. But if you're on the field, you can only advance text with A. So just like in any percent, you're going to attack the chain with jump. So when he attacks Mario, you don't even bother blocking because he's really can't kill you. So you just do the same thing as first turn, and you're gonna see the jump power is gonna start to increase. The damage is gonna go higher. Every 2 jumps you do, the base power increases by 1. So over the course of the early game, you're gonna see that jump power go up. So this is still a battle, so this is still in battle text, so you can use the D-pad and the face buttons to advance the text. So the biggest differences in with level ups with Mario is Mario's going to be taking special for all of his level ups in Beat Culex. He will not take attack at all. And that does impact a couple of fights. Mainly, if you know how to do Clown Manip, that will influence his punch damage at the end of the fight. And also, the Calamari fight is a little bit different because Mario doesn't have as much attack as he normally does at 80%. The Zero Punch Manip is really, really hard to do. But I think you use up more time than you would saving to try to do it. And that's why you won't ever see me use it. So we're gonna use, now that we're not in battle, we have to use A only to advance text. So we talk to Toad, so we can actually leave Mario's pad. In my gameplay, you will see me utilize safety saves, just for the sake of retrying a few fights for further explanation. So for the first part of the run, it's always the same. You have to go through all this text. Back to the Zero Punch Manip. You have to wait like a couple of seconds just to input one of the attacks, and even then, it takes forever. And if you miss it, then you're just losing all the time you would gain. The one punch is actually pretty simple compared to the zero. So you get your first mushroom here from Toad, and you're gonna actually skip the tutorial, hopefully, so you don't end up using it. And then you've got another tutorial right here to skip. And then after that, Toad's gonna give you 3 mushrooms. These, for beginner runners, can actually be very helpful for the Croco 1 fight. So we're going to go ahead and make our first save, and we're going to head to Mushroom Way. So Mario is going to start facing southeast when we start Mushroom Way, and we're just going to do a horseshoe around the first screen. And we're going to jump over the Goombas here. These chests you don't have to hit here. However, we will be hitting flower chests, as many as possible, to get enough for Culex. So to hit this upper ledge here without triggering the Goomba fight, there's actually a tiny place right here that you can stand and not touch the Goomba. We're going to do that and make that a stepping stone. So once you get to here, you can press up and jump up slightly, and then you can jump over and hit this chest. And then you're going to run straight right to the next screen. Now, you can skip this by not stopping, by doing, by holding right, and then once you get to the gap, you can hold down, and then back right again. There's actually a wall here that pushes Mario down like that. That's how you're able to pass through that area without getting caught on something. So once you get by that bush, hold right, down, right, and you're through. Now for the Hammer Brother fight. First, you're going to use jump on the first Hammer Brother. This you want to time, but if you mistime it, it's not a big deal. So there's for 43 damage. Watch the last stem of the hammer. When it points up after hitting Mario, after it bounces off of Mario, is when you press to block. It's a very late block. And after that, you're going to jump on the other Hammer Brother. And you should get 45. Now, if you perfect timed one of the attacks, you can actually let Mario take the full brunt of the hammer there. Not blocking an attack is slightly faster than blocking it by a couple of frames. And that's because if he blocks it, it's still showing 1 digit of damage either way, whether it be 0 or 6. And the more digits that have to appear, the more time that takes. So after that, you're going to actually untimed attack the first Hammer Brother, and that does exactly enough to kill it for 50 hit points total. And then this automatically forces the surviving Hammer Brother to put up his Valor Up shield. But now you've got enough power for, or enough FP for one more jump. And you don't even have to time it, and he'll die. So you get 6 experience, 20 coins, and a flower jar drop. And you also get this hammer here. But we're not gonna we're not gonna equip the hammer right now. We're gonna wait. So once you do that, you can leave the Mushroom Way and go to the Mushroom Kingdom. As soon as you start this area, you're gonna hold down right and then hold right. And you can actually glide across the walls here. And you're gonna go right into the item shop, and then press up and start hitting A to talk to the shopkeeper from this far away. So you don't have money to buy what you need right now. That's what that flower jar is for. So you're gonna go. What's up, Concert? So you're gonna go to sell items first. If you want to keep a couple of mushrooms for the Croco 1 fight, you can. You will have to sell what you don't use later. But just for right now, I'm going to hold on to 1 mushroom, and we're going to sell everything else. And then we're going to go buy. For this route, you need 6 honey syrups. I would pick up probably 3 pick-me-ups and 3 able juices. So we're going to go 6. 3, 3. You also need to pick up a shirt and jump shoes for Mario, just like in any percent. And then we're going to go to equip and go ahead and equip Mario with everything. And then we're going to leave, and then we're going to head to the Chancellor. Now, you have to get this frog coin the first time it's available. If you don't, you'll have to do actually a wiggler jump in the forest maze. So there you go. That's very key to get. So now more cutscenes. Now the reason why we do the shop now instead of after getting Mallow is 2 things. Equipping the hammer now gets rid of this tutorial that the Chancellor will ask you about for equipping. That skips that. And also, if you went to the shop after getting Mallow, you have to sit through another cutscene at the shop. So it's a double skip of sorts. Now, if you're an experienced runner and you're wanting to kind of save your money, you can buy 2 pick-me-ups and 2 able juices. But 3 is a good starting point. The coin route isn't as tight as it is in any percent. And there's opportunities to pick up coins later if you want, just to be sure. But you probably won't need the extra coins anyway. So we're not going to the Vault Guard. Although if you wanted to get a flower, you can. So you just leave the castle and you go through more cutscenes. There is a couple of hidden treasure chests in the basement of the item shop that you can get if you're not confident in super jumping Culex when you get to the end of the run. Or if you don't get enough flowers on Booster Hill and you need backup flowers, you can actually go back there to get flowers that you may be short on. So you have to jump here during this cutscene. There's a couple places where you do that. You can't progress the story until you jump. So you just agree to help Mallow out here. Now as you go towards the exit here, you can jump and try to get the camera manipulated to where it'll scroll less. I failed to do that when I exited the castle. but it's not really a big deal in the speedrun. So, now to Bandit's Way. So, I'm gonna save here at this save box here at the bottom of this first screen. Be careful of these spikies. They're very fast when you get close to them. Alright, so for the next screen here, you're gonna do what's called a flower jump. On these rotating flowers, in Mushroom Way there was a Goomba here, and the flower didn't actually make you spin because the Goomba was on it. But now that there's no Goomba here, anytime that you jump on this flower, it'll put Mario facing the opposite direction. So if Mario were to jump from the bottom here, he would face north when it starts rotating him. So if he were to jump on the top part of the flower, he would start to face toward the middle. But sometimes it doesn't always work like that. But what is consistent though, if Mario jumps on the left side, he's going to face right, and that's actually the direction we want to go because he'll land right on the ledge here. So that's what you want. And then we're actually going, well, that was an unintended encounter, but luckily we got a runaway. You don't have to pick up those coins. If you do, you actually cause a little bit of lag. So just like that first flower, we want to do the same here because there's a hidden treasure chest between this flower and this flower. And there it is. And you don't, all you have to do is hit it and it'll automatically open. For this screen, you can just hold up while holding run and just jump over the Goomba and then go to the next screen. But before I go to the next screen, let me bring up my video here to show an important part coming up called the dog jump. So what's coming up here, and I've got this video slowed down to 70%. Watch the canine here in the top corner here. Once the text completely finishes, once his eyes turn dark like that, is when you want to advance the text, because the way it should work is if you do the optimal movement every time and consistently, and you land on the dog during the invincibility star, you should hit the treasure chest that is over off screen to the right on the bottom of its oscillation. So, okay, so the eyes are white right now. As soon as they turn black, or right when they turn black, is when you press to clear the text. So like that. And then once Mario gets movement, he runs straight up, hits the star, and starts killing enemies. You need to kill 10 dogs. And then if you hit the 2-frame window to jump on that dog, not only do you kill the dog for experience, but you should also get the flower there. And that actually opens up a easier strat for Croco 1, and also potentially saves you some time in the Kiro sewers. And I'll try to play that back one more time. No, you get 10. This follows the any % route. No, you still get 10. The way that I've got the, I rerouted the category for the new stuff. So, boom. If you press jump when you land on an enemy, you get a boost. And then you hitting the treasure chest at the bottom of its oscillation. It's gonna move, hover up and down. If you were to not timed that clear correctly and you went for this dog jump, the chest could be high enough that Mario does not touch it, and you won't get the flower. And also, as soon as you kill the dog, you need to watch the pattern of the dogs. The dogs will always come out of this exit, and they always shoot to the northwest, like that. And you need to get 10. So you're going off the beaten path to get that flower, and then you have to hurry up and get back on their running path so that you can cut them off. So you see the oscillation. If that chest is at the very top of its oscillation when Mario tries to hit it, he won't hit it. So we hold down, and then up, hit that dog that's coming after Mario, and then come down, and hit all the faster dogs first. And then as soon as Mario hits the level up, he's going to exit that screen. Now we'll see if I can get the dog jump. Now since I'm playing English, I can clear the text immediately, and it should line up still. That may be a little late, but we'll see. Oh, I got it anyway. And there's 10. So that worked out pretty good. Now, there is a recovery mushroom. If Mario is not full health or Mallow, you want to hit that chest because that will give you max FP and MP and HP. So Mario level 2 will always, like I said before, Mario takes special on every level in Big Culex. So now you got to get Croco. There's a trick to this. Every time Croco hides, he's going to face toward the top of the screen for 4 seconds, and then he'll face down. Like that. Now, there's a box, a visible plane around Croco. If you're inside that plane and he faces you, he's going to see you, and he's going to hide again. So, as soon as he turned around, I was within the plane, and I hadn't caught him. So that's why he's going to run again. Now, he'll always go to the right position behind one of these hills. And then there's a chance that he could change his mind and go to the left. So you have to kind of read, okay, like that. He was going to stay here, but then he turned around. So see, I'm within the box, and he saw me. Yeah, that text clearing for the dog jump is something Albrecht found, and it was utilized in everything. So now we're actually going to catch Croco. So Croco usually will not go to the same hill that he just got caught on. So he's going to go to any of the other 3 hills. And he went to that one, but then he changed his mind and went to the other side. Now, for the final catch, you want him to be as close to the center of this area as possible when you catch him for the final time. Because after the fight, there's going to be a trampoline that'll get you out of this area. Now, that's a bad ending spot because the camera is going to pan a long time when the fight's over. And this is a good ending spot right here, actually. So now for the Croco fight. First thing you're going to do, you're going to jump with Mario, turn 1, and Mallow's going to defend unless he has to throw a honey syrup. Okay, that was an unfortunate mistime. Now this could be bad. The timing for blocking Croco's attack is a little tricky. When he stops charging at you, and like, when you hear the shriek, that's when you press the button. You kind of want to press the button on the shriek. Alright, so Mallow's going to defend this turn. Okay, this is bad. This needs to hit Mallow, and it does. Okay, the bomb will deal 24 damage to Mario if he's not defending, and that would have killed Mario if that went for him. If Mallow is defending and still at full HP, he'll live. So for the third turn, So for the third turn, Mario's going to jump again, and Mallow's going to use the honey syrup because we have no more FP to use for another jump. Okay, that was a perfect block there. Now, if you got the dog jump on turn 4, Mallow can actually use the second honey syrup, and then if he gets attacked, he can die. So we're going to do that. But I could have let him die, but since Mario doesn't have full health, I'm going to heal Mario for this fight to ensure that he lives. So this is why I kept that mushroom, in case you need to heal Mario. And we got a freebie. The only thing you want to freebie are bombs in this route. Nothing else you really need a freebie. So when Croco uses the bad mushroom, he's almost dead. But he also skips his next turn. So now Milo is useless. You just defend with him if he's alive. So if this bomb goes for Mario, he's going to live, which it does. So that's why I use the mushroom there. You kind of have to use your judgment on what the best case scenario to do here. I think if you can if you miss time one jump, you can still beat Croco. Especially if you miss time an early jump, you should be fine. But that's why I kept that mushroom, in case you need to heal Mario. And that's usually a beginner level strat. For experienced runners, they just YOLO it, and if they die, they just reset. So Mallow's going to take HP, just like he does at 80%. So as you see there, the reason why that's a good ending spot, the camera doesn't pan that much. And the camera has to go back as well. So if you're saving for max skip, then you can just enter in from the exit you left from before. If you go for the yellow, you actually come up to Mushroom Way and go back to Mushroom Kingdom. Because Mushroom Kingdom has 2 different exits, and depending which direction you actually enter Mushroom Kingdom from will dictate which exit you come out of. So if you come in from Bandit's Way, you actually come out on this exit over here. If you came in from Mushroom Way, then you actually come in on the first exit you went through before. Now I'm saving for max skip, because you skip Mac just like in 80%. I won't go into detail about how to skip Mac, but right here you hold up and then hold right to skip those enemies. There is a max skip tutorial that will explain everything. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. Make sure you get to the bottom. If you see under the Shyster's shadow there on that tile, position Mario right on top of it. And at the very top of the jump of the Shyster's jumping cycle, jump with a running jump. And there you go. Pretty easy. Getting on the Shyster is always the hard part. Once you get on top, the rest of it's simple. And that's it. So, more text. Now, back to the Croco fight. If you didn't have the dog jump, you would have to use the second honey syrup on turn 5 instead of turn 4. That way Mario will still have enough flower points to use all of his jumps should Mallow die afterwards. But then again, I think he should still be alive regardless. And plus he's there to heal Mario if need be. So that's it for that area for right now. So we can go to the Kuro Sewers. I think for beginner players, even if you have 12 FP right here, you should still get the flower that is here. In my opinion. Because you need as many flower points as possible, because you're going to go through super jumps very, very quickly on Culex. So you take the same route as you do in any percent. Now, if you did get the dog jump and you're a high level, you can actually just jump up those stairs right there. But if you didn't get the flower from Banatwa, you need to pick that up. You do need 12 FP here. And then you hit the star, you kill all these rats, just like in any percent. You should kill that rat just as the star expires. Now for this area, the ghosts can be random, so you just kind of have to pay attention. Just pick a line and just go straight. Hit the switch, and then there shouldn't be any ghosts. You should just be able to walk to the southwest onto the pipe and hit it. And then as soon as you come out of the pipe hole, it's southwest again, and you should make a beeline to that pipe, and you end up here. Now, I'm going to drop down. Should you get an encounter by accident, let's say, let's wait for a ghost to come down. If you notice, there's actually a couple of ledges. And as you see, I just jumped on a ghost. If you can manage to run away, like that, you can actually use the ghost as a stepping stone, and there you go. You're up. You can skip the switch altogether, and you can just jump up to that upper level. But you don't want to do that intentionally. That's just if you get into an encounter that you can't see coming. So you just jump into the pipe now and trigger the Balloon 1 fight. Now, some of this fight is scripted at the beginning. So first turn is jump with Mario. Thunderbolt with Mallow, first turn. He will always attack Mallow first turn. And when you advance the text, use only the D-pad. You do not want to use the face buttons when you advance this text, because when you block an attack, the game only accepts one input, and if you do that too soon, when you're trying to clear the text, Mallow's going to take full damage. So when you see "Where's my bib?" or whatever the last text is, that's when he's going to immediately attack. Like that. Now Mario's going to jump turn 2. And now Mallow's going to physically attack Balloon for at least 3 damage. You can partially time this attack for 3 damage, and you still deal enough damage to kill Balloon on schedule. If you just don't time it and deal 2 damage, that's not enough. And then, okay, we got the worst pattern, which isn't bad, actually. On turn 3, Mallow has to use the honey syrup regardless. So if sleep sauce happened on Mallow, which it did here, Mario has to use an able juice to resurrect him to make him able to do so. If Mario was sleep sauce, Mallow just uses the honey syrup anyway, and you go into a different pattern. But we're going to go ahead and do this, because we're going to do the fight a couple of times here. So, like I said, Mallow is asleep, so he needs to use the honey syrup. So we have to cure him. And now Mallow uses the honey syrup as scheduled. And he's going to get swallowed. Balloon will only swallow Mallow if he is healthy. So that's why you have to do that. And this is planned. So now when Mario's by himself, Balloon is going to attack like that. And then you jump again. This is why Mallow has to use the honey syrup before he gets swallowed, because Mario is going to be attacking with junk. And now, if Mallow gets slept sauced or Mario gets slept sauced, you actually defend again. There's a different pattern if you get good RNG, and we'll cover that. So this Scarecrow attack is scripted, and you want it to hit Mario. Because if you're in Scarecrow, you're immune to sleep, which Balloon obviously can do sleep sauce. So now, after that, after Mallow defended, now he uses the second honey syrup, and then he's not really needed anymore. Because Mario is just gonna jump. Now, if we can get Mallow swallowed again, that's gonna be great, because that forces Balloon to attack Mario with a physical when he's by himself. However, since we got the wrong second turn, he could get sleep sauce here at the end. So we defend. Okay, and Mario didn't get attacked, so that was good. When Mario jumps for 55 damage, that should be the jump that kills Balloon 1. So right there, he's dead. Alright, so I'm gonna do a soft reset, and we're gonna try to get a good fight, what you want to see on a Balloon fight. So that was like the worst case scenario, and that loses a lot of time compared to some of the other results we can get. So if Mario or Mallow gets Sleep Sauce turn 2, when Mallow gets regurgitated from Balloon, he's going to defend, and then he's going to use the second honey syrup. That's kind of the rule of thumb. But the first 2 turns are always the same. So here's turn 2. And Mallow's gonna punch. Alright, we got good RNG. Alright, so if you get a physical turn 2, turn 3, Mario's gonna jump. And then, like I said before, Mallow has to use Honey Syrup turn 3, regardless, for FP restoral. So he's gonna get swallowed. And then Mario... Now, in this scenario, Mario's gonna get turned into a Scarecrow, hopefully, first. In order for Mallow to get spat out, you have to deal, I think, at least 100 damage before he gets ejected. So, in this scenario, once you do 5 jumps with Mario, Mallow uses the second Honey Syrup. And then after that, he can die. Okay, this is actually good, because if it hits, it's going to reset the Scarecrow counter, and that ensures that Mario can't be put to sleep for the rest of the fight. Oh, that's good. That's actually good. If Mallow is still healthy after 2 more turns, after he gets spat out, he's going to get swallowed again. Which forces Balloon to just physically attack Mario when he's by himself. He won't do a spell, which wastes time. The only time you want to see a spell is when it's scripted. So right there is like a perfect fight if this was like a real speed run attempt. So that's what you want to see. So, like I said, Mario has to take special for every level in Beat Culex. So there's no chance to save before Midas River. So, before I start the Midas River, here's the rundown. You get to collect coins along the way, and once you get to the bottom, you can trade those in for a frog coin if you get at least 60 on your first time through. And you want to get at least 60, because there's also frog coins on the waterfall here that you can also get, and those are actually used in the route. So, a rule of thumb, collect 13 gold coins and get all 4 frog coins. There's 2, 3 yellow coins, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13. Now, for the barrel section, when you get to each batch of coins, you're gonna jump and collect every coin but the fourth in the line, unless there's a fish that you have to jump over. And if you do this, you should get exactly 60. And this is something Cypher came up with a long time ago. So a lot of strats and stuff that people's found over the years all get compiled into the speedrun that we see today. So for the first few groups, you won't see any fish, but once you start getting to this right here, and then you'll hear the music start to tempo up, where it gets a little bit more faster, and that's when you start seeing the fish come. When the fish are in your way on that fourth coin, you do have to jump, or you lose coins, and you can't afford to lose coins. And the reason you want to get exactly 60 is so that when you trade them in, there is one less text box that appears here, and that just saves you about a half a second. So you see I got exactly 60, and there's a text box that comes up that says, I'll hold your extra coins, but that doesn't happen if you don't have any extra, and you go straight to this text right here. The Knock Knock Shell you don't even use for the speedrun, and you go straight to Tadpole Pond. As soon as you start, you hold up right, and then you're gonna hold right a little bit, and then go back to upright, because you want to scroll the camera as much forward as possible before you run into that little stone. So you have to jump here again in the cutscene to progress. So once again, more text. So at this point, if you got every frog coin you're supposed to get, you should have 6 frog coins. And you're actually going to be spending all of them right here at the Frog Coin Emporium after these cutscenes are over with. And you're going to buy 3 Energizers from the Frog Coin Emporium shop. And those are actually going to be used in the next 3 boss fights. Bowyer, Croco 2, and Punchinello. And the Energizer will increase the affected character's attack by 50%. And like all items, they can be freebied. And actually, it's actually more beneficial if you can freebie one of the 3 Energizers, because that will make Punchinello fight really, really fast. So when you get asked, would you like a recap? Obviously say no. Otherwise, you'll have to sit through some of that text again. So here's where the cutscene ends here. So you're gonna jump down. As soon as you get off the Tadpole Bridge, you're gonna hold right and then, or left and then up left. And you go right into the Frog Coin Emporium. Now, there is no pre-menu where you have an option to buy, sell items, sell weapons, or equip. You go straight to buy, so make sure you're not pressing any buttons on the controller. So you go down 2 to Energizer and press A 3 times, and you're gonna spend all your frog coins, and then you hit and then you're gonna hit X to exit the menu immediately, or B in this case. What's up, Ryan? Yeah, just doing a tutorial here. So after that, I'm gonna save before we do Rose Town, or I'm sorry, Roseway, for the next area, because this next area is gonna require a little bit of time to explain, and may have to do this area a couple of times. So as soon as the screen comes up, you're just gonna, as you see, Mario is not lined up on immediately in direct line with the platform. He's off a little bit. So you're gonna jump straight up and then hold up right to get on the first platform. Now, when these platforms are blue, you can't really move off of them until they turn yellow again. So you're gonna hold up into that one. Now, there is no platform to here, so you can actually jump again to make the platform move to its next spot. And then you should see that they're connected. You just simply hold in the proper direction to just walk on to the next one. As you see, there's also a flower, like right down here. You can pick this up if you want. It only takes a couple of seconds to pick it up. Okay, that was lucky. I'm gonna reset there just to kind of explain what I'm doing. If you understand the length of Mario's jump, you can actually time your jumps while on the blue platform, that you can actually get the platform moving very, very quickly immediately when it stops. So when that platform passes the star right there, as you saw, I'm gonna go back and do it again. I may have to exit the area and just re-enter it. As soon as the platform passes by that star that's in the water, I jump. And then it moves immediately. Now for this one, I'm actually listening to the sound that that it's making when the platform freezes. When that sound ends is when I make the jump to get it to go back the other direction. So this is why I saved to do this multiple times, because it is a little tricky to do it first. And this is solely for speed. This isn't necessary, but if these stars start to rise out of the water and they start spinning around, they may get in your way. And this is solely to get through this area before they even become a problem. So when the sound ends there, I jump. Now to grab that coin, I'm pressing down while I'm on the lift, and then I jump as Mario's about to get to it. So once again, you want to pick up that flower if need be. So I'm going to try to do that again, but with full speed. And notice when I get to the lift at the top where that coin is, you'll see that I'm holding down on the D-pad and I'm just jumping. If you miss the coin, it's not a big deal, but it's worth 10 coins, and that's quite a bit. When the sound ends here, up jump. Now for this screen, this is a tricky screen. You gotta watch these crooks here. They're very, very fast. So as soon as I go into this screen, I'm holding up right, and I'm gonna go into an up left, up right. Kind of like an S-curve. And as long as you're holding Y and you keep moving, you don't get held up, you should be fine. These crooks can really hurt you because you're under-leveled right now. You should be around level 6 or 7, typically, in a casual play. And these guys usually go first, so you don't want to get into an encounter with them if you can help it. So, up right, up left, up right. Then once you get up here, you can actually hold right, and once you get like right down here, see, if you do that screen optimally, you won't have to worry. Now see, I'm baiting these crooks a little bit, so I don't get into an encounter with them, because I'm going to redo that screen again. So here's how the screen should look See, as long as you're running, that guy shouldn't hurt you. So you just hold down, jump for this coin. Now, if you bought any extra mushrooms, or I'm sorry, if you bought any extra pick-me-ups or able juices, if you want some extra coins, you can hit those a couple of times. You probably won't need it, but they're there just in case. And then you got a cutscene here at the end of Rose Way. But generally, the fastest way to get from point A to point B is a straight line. So, as much as possible, just run in a straight line. Unless you're trying to cut around a wall or something. So, after that, just hold up, and you're into Rose Town. I'm going to save again before I do Rose Town. Now, from this point forward, you don't need to pick up any frog coins whatsoever. So, what you normally see in any percent, job's good. So, once we get to Rose Town, you're going to hold right and hold run. You're going to jump over the kid by the bush. And as soon as Mario reaches this frame of the window, you can actually jump early. And you can actually jump, and if you curl Mario around the edge here, he'll be landing on this crate as he's about to hit the ground again. And this is actually a pipe. You're going to hit this for a flower. And there's a hidden frog coin here that you get in any percent, but like I said, you don't need any frog coins. So you just strictly go straight and talk to the shopkeeper. Hit buy, and you're going to buy 2 fearless pins. And the screen, and this selection of items actually wraps around. So you can actually go from the bottom of the list instead of going all the way down through the list like this. So at the start, you're going to press up once and hit A twice for 2 fearless pins and exit. And you can hit X to immediately exit the menu. You can also exit by using B, but you have to do it twice, because B only backs you out of the buying menu, and B has to back you out from the whole menu entirely. So instead, just press X when you're done. And then you leave. As soon as you get out, you're going to jump over. You can actually jump from the bush onto this guy's head to get up here. The reason is for flowers. You need these flowers. You don't jump up to the top here because you don't need the frog coin that's there. So as soon as you grab the flowers, you just go straight to the end. Now, when you leave this building, hold down, and you actually run into this crate, and that crate actually lines you up. If you face down right, you actually line up, just jump over the bush, and then once you're against here, you hold left, and then you just take the very short route into the end. Yeah, job's good. And while the cutscene plays, I'm going to take a small break, and then I'll be back, and we'll continue Big Culex route. So when you get to this text right here, just say no, that you're not the right Mario. If you select the top option, you're required to jump to prove to the kid that you're real. So that just saves you a little bit of effort. So once Mario gets hit with Gino's Rocket Punch, as soon as you see the text that says, "Are you okay, Mario?" you are free to run away from your setup and take a break if you need to, because it is all automatic from that point. So this very next text, you can leave, and I'll be right back. So once the cutscene is over, you're gonna have to jump out of the bed. And then you got this cutscene that plays. Now, you're gonna leave initially, but I'm gonna save after this cutscene is over. Now, if you're beginning this this category and you're not wanting to rely on freebies, there are some safeties. I'm gonna show you this safety, but I'm not going to continue with this item. If you actually stay at the end, right after the cutscene, you actually get a free flower tab, and that sells for 100 coins, which later can buy you an extra fright bomb, which can be utilized in the run. So you just talk to Toad after your rest, and there it is. Other than that, there's not much use to it. Although, you can combine selling that along with an extra Kira Cola at Booster Pass Secret to get an extra Ice Bomb. That could be a thing. But normally, you won't use up that much time just for an item like that. Although, it's there in case you want it. So now that the cutscene with Gaz is over, we're going to go straight to the Forest Maze. You do not have to do Wiggler jumps in this category, so you won't have to worry about that. Very first screen, hold left, and you're going to go right here in this little corner. Jump twice for a Kira Cola. Now, watch out for the Wiggler. If you run in a straight line, this Wiggler does not come out at the same interval every time. He can come out early, he can come out late. So, you want to kind of walk over to the left of the stump, and then jump up into it, so you don't get an encounter. Once you get to the bottom here, you're going to hold right. Let me try that again. We'll wait for the Wiggler to pop out first. You're going to hold right. I'm going to hold up a little bit, because if you hold straight right, you can get caught on this bush. So just hold right again. You're going to let Mario glide along the wall here. And then... Actually, he can keep holding right here. That rat should not be a problem at all. If you're constantly moving. And I'll go through this screen one more time. Ooh, I about got into an encounter there. So just hold up just to get Mario off of that bush. A little bit more. Let him glide along the wall. Now, when Mario line Mario up along with this little line here, or this little spot on the floor, and then he'll run upright. As soon as Mario reaches that line, kind of do a jump, and you can land on the trampoline really early. Kind of wait until after he passes it. So run straight up out of the area. There is a hidden frog coin, but you don't need a frog coin, like I said before. Enter the back trunk. Hold up as soon as you come down here, and you're going to run into the trampoline. And then hold up left. You're going to walk right by the Wiggler without waking him up. There's a hidden Kira right here that you want to get. Once you get that, then hold down right to wake him up. And that will open the area to progress. So in this area, you're going to hold right again. Now you need to hold up a little bit to make sure that he doesn't get hung up there. I'll do that again. And then you're just going to guide Mario around the walls into the next area. So like that, hold down right, hold right over a little bit, and then onto that trampoline. Now you do need to get this red essence here in the right next past the save block. And I'm going to save before we do the maze. Now, you'll see Gino on almost every screen to get to the billiard fight. There's one screen that you won't see him on. You always go to this bottom path here. So, you do right, up, right again, up, and then left. Now, hopefully, this is like one of the first few fights that you can die and it not be in your control. you're gonna recruit Geno here for this fight. Geno's gonna be energized on turn 1 after he does his first Geno beam, and that's gonna increase his damage. Geno is solely gonna carry the fight on his own. But the risky part is that you're not able to heal HP at all in this fight. So, if you get into any encounters by accident, make sure Geno is fully healed before you enter this fight. Use Mallow's HP Rain, or pick up a mushroom that's laying around and use it on Geno. But make sure that Geno has at least enough FP to do 2 Geno beams first. But he should be above 9 FP. And also, back when you stayed at the end, you also got a full FP, HP restore also. So the first 3 or 4 turns or so of this fight are always the same, but depending how much HP Geno has will determine what you need to do next. And we're just gonna go over the safety strat. We're not gonna go over the gamble, the sleepy arrow strat gamble. We're gonna do a basic Geno only safe fight. But I will mention what you can do for the riskier strat if it arises. It does save time, but there is some risk. So Geno is going to use Geno Beam every turn possible for at least the first 7 turns or so. 6 turns. At least. Now, this fight is also scripted to where whatever actions you do will dictate what button Bowyer is going to lock every 2 turns. But for right now, on turn 1, you're going to Geno Beam. You should have at least 15 FP here. So, you let go of the, you press Y to charge, and then you let go when you see the 3rd star appear. You don't want to overcharge, or you won't get the 60 damage. So, Mario actually does nothing in this fight. He does nothing. So, Mallow's going to use the Energizer here on Geno. Oh, wow, we got a freebie. Alright. Now, that's going to be important for Punchinello. You would like at least 1 Energizer freebie in the big Culex run. So now that we got it, we got a faster Punchinello that we can do. But we'll cover that in a minute. But right now, we got to focus on this fight. So now he's going to deploy the buttons. He's not going to lock anything yet. We got 1 more turn that we got. So we're going to use Geno Beam again with Geno. And now this will deal 90. Again, Mario does nothing. And now Mallow is going to use a Honey Syrup to restore our FP because Bowyer is going to lock items. So we have to take care of this now. And we got another freebie. Crazy. Okay. So, depending on what actions you do will dictate what button Bowyer locks. So if you do nothing but items, or even do special attack, he's going to lock item. The only way he's going to lock attack is if you actually attack multiple times. So now for this turn, we're going to Geno Beam again. He's got a fresh stock of 5 Geno Beams. And we're going to do 4 in a row first. Now be wary of a physical attack. If Bowyer does a physical arrow, you're going to press the button to block the arrow when you see the arrow come at the top of the screen. Here it comes. Boom. I know, that's just watch it back, and when you see the arrow, you block. Always block the arrow regardless of who it targets, because you don't want to risk Geno taking any damage in this fight unless it's from a spell that you can't block in the first place. So once again, you're going to do another beam. This is beam number 2 after the syrup. We're going to do 4 of these in a row after the syrup. Once again, Mario and Mallow just defend because they're not doing anything else now in this fight. Okay, here's the 3rd beam after the syrup. Now this next attack is going to be crucial a little bit. We don't want it... Okay, if Geno is at full HP, then he's good. He should live for the rest of the fight. Here's the fourth beam. Once again, Mario and Mallow is going to defend. They're not... Their usefulness in this fight is done. Alright, what we're going to do now, we're going to do a triple defend here before we do the last beam. That way, in case we get a bolt on Geno, it won't deal a lot of damage. But we got a lightning orb. So, normally the lightning orb deals 21. But since we defended, that damage gets cut in half, and then it gets rounded down to 10. So, a bolt on Geno undefended deals 33. So now Geno is going to live the rest of the fight, as long as we don't mess up anything. So now that we've done the triple defend, now we're going to use the final beam. And then, now that we're out of FP, Geno's going to do physical attacks from now on. Now, this physical attack from Geno is really hard to time at first. So I'm going to try to demonstrate what he does, and that's the visual to attack. When he brings his arm back, you're going to see it, the animation. When you see him bring his arm back, but before he brings it forward is when you press the button to time the attack. You don't want to anticipate it. Wait to see the arm go back before you press the button. Right there. It should deal 60. If you mistimed it, it's 45 damage. And then you have to do that again. See, the physical there, I wasn't ready to block, but even then, he should be dead on this attack. What's up, P-Dog? Boom. He's dead. Now, if Geno had full HP, before you do the triple defend, you can actually do the fifth beam right then and there. Or you can have Geno do a physical, and then Mario can actually jump. It's a little tricky. I might explain it at the end of the tutorial what the Oyasumi Gamble is. But you'll get a guaranteed flower box here, and 50 coins, and then Mallow is going to pick HP here. With the Fearless Pins that he's going to equip here in a minute, plus the HP, he's going to be guaranteed to survive a bomb from Croco 2, should he get targeted with one. Just doing a big Culex tutorial, P-Dog. So I may not interact much, unless you got a question about the run that I can cover. But welcome everyone who's watching live. This is live, this is not a pre-recording. So there's a lot of cutscene here that you gotta match through. But I will say about the Oyasumi Gamble that you can do, it risks Geno getting put to sleep, because when Bowyer will lock Y, he's got a 2/3 chance to do a physical, and he's got a 1/3 chance to do the sleep arrow, or it'll say goodnight in English. And then that can target any one of the 3 characters. So there's like a 1 in 9 shot that you go for the gamble and it doesn't pay off. But using a physical with Geno and then a jump with Mario is a few seconds faster than Geno just doing a Geno beam by himself. So as soon as you get control with Mario, you just run right out the back exit of the maze and you go straight to Mobile. So what's really different in Big Culex as opposed to any percent? You only buy 1 Energizer and any percent, so there's a chance that you don't even have an Energizer freebie to work with. But in this route, you're guaranteed an Energizer in the mines. So the mines shouldn't be too difficult. I'm going to save again. I'm going to save in a different save file in case I want to go back over the Oyasumi Gamble a little bit later. So you go in the shop and you're going to talk to the shopkeeper. you're going to sell items first before you buy anything. Because you're going to pick up a lot of coins pretty soon. And you're actually going to be spending a lot as well. So we go to sell items. Since you have all these items, you're going to be selling 3 Kira Colas. And you're going to be selling a few other things as well. Also, if you have any mushrooms, you want to get rid of them now. So you go ahead and sell any extra mushrooms that you might have if you kept any, because you don't need them anymore. At least for now. Because you should get a drop from the bandanas later. So now you go from the bottom of the menu, go to the very top Kira Cola, press A 3 times to sell all 3. You're also going to sell the flower tab and the wallet. You're going to keep the box for now. So sell the tab, and then press down once and go to the wallet and sell that. Do not sell the flower box, because if you overflow your coin count to 999, you lose any extra coins. And you need every coin possible. So after that's done, you're going to go to buy. Your cursor is already going to be starting at Punch Glove, and you're actually going to buy a weapon for every character. So you're going to press A, down, A, down, A. You're going to go down to Work Pants, buy 4 pair, just like in any percent. Now, in any percent, you normally buy a mid-mushroom. You do not do that here. You don't need it. So just press B to back out, and now we're going to go to Equip, and we're going to equip everybody. We're going to give Mario the Punch Glove. Press A, go over to the page, and go down to Punch Glove. Go to Mario's armor. Since Mario has only one other type of armor that he can equip, you just go over, press A. He keeps the jump shoes, go down twice to Mallow's weapon, and now you're going to do A over A, down 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 A over A, and then press X and you're done. And then you're going to run up here and trigger the cutscene. More text mashing. Now, coming up, there is a chance that Croco 2 can drop this flower box. That does have an impact on the run. If you're beginning or if you're wanting safety items. But if you're planning to skip Pando, skip Pass, and do Clown Manip, then what happens here will usually dictate what you're going to do on the rest of the run. But we're going to play this out just to see what happens. You would like to get the flower box drop, because that will pretty much guarantee that you got enough bombs for the rest of the run. Then you won't even have to worry about bomb freebies whatsoever. But since you have less coins to work with to buy all your bombs, you do need a couple of freebies to make this route at the highest level work out. So when you get asked these questions, you just select the top answer, and then you move on. Watch out for that mole there. He can be a little deceptive. Now in this screen, you hold right against the wall, and then hold upright, and jump when Mario gets on top of that little spot. And you end up on the trampoline. Gonna mash out through more text. Hold up, and then hug the wall, and then hold left. Gonna hold left going into this door. Now in this next room, if you see this mole start to walk down towards Mario, jump over it. But you can do the jump anyway for safety. When you walk down this one, hit there, hold down right, down, then down right, and you'll hit Croco to force the fight. Okay. First turn, Gino will attack Croco every turn. Like that. On Mario's first turn, he's going to do a jump. And now Mallow is going to energize Gino again, just like on the Bowyer fight. Oh wow, I freebied it again, okay. Well, there is a 3 Energizer option for Punchinello, but I don't think it's worth it. So at this point, once you get 1 Energizer freebie, you really don't need any more. And now you're going to attack with everybody. And that was a missed time. Alright, so there's the physical attack there that you want to block. Geno can take 3 bombs, because they each deal 13 damage apiece. Because he's got the Fearless Pin. Mallow has already took his 1 bomb from Croco because of the Fearless Pin, so he's surviving with 1. Mario will die from a bomb regardless. So once he does the jump, he can also jump if you want to power up his jump a little bit. It won't matter though, but if you punch, you risk a miss. I should have probably jumped with him. Those attacks were, I think, mistimed. Okay, now if you see a chomp attack, you wait for the enemy to appear that comes out of the bag. When the enemy reaches the top of the apex of the arc, that's when you press the button to block. And those deal quite a bit of damage. There we go. That's a lot better. Alright. Wait for the apex of the arc. Boom. And you should get 0. And since you've got the Energizer on Geno, the Croco fight should go by very, very fast. It shouldn't take but maybe 4 turns. Maybe. If you get good rolls. So this should kill. Alright. Now, here's hoping for the box. Remember, it's a 25% chance. And we didn't get it. That's okay. Mario still picked special. You do not have to clear this text. This text clears automatically. You just have to wait to jump. And you hold up again, hold up and jump over that mole, and get into the door. Now that's a tricky one right there. You can get an encounter easily on that screen, and I'll try to explain why. This bomb can move in any sort of direction. The bomb can actually be right by the door and try to walk right into you. As long as you're holding up into this screen and jump over the mole, you should not get an encounter whatsoever. Even if the bomb is really close to you and it looks like it might touch you. As long as you do that right there, you should not get into an encounter. Now, this star is very, very important. Invincibility stars, you need to kill exactly the right number of enemies to keep Mario's experience in check. Because you do not get the experience booster in this run. So if he is not level 11 by the time you get to Culex, you're going to have to do more super jumps, which means the fight will get a lot harder. So right now I'm just moving up to the next save and making a safety. And then we'll go back and I'll show you how to handle this star. You need to kill 9 enemies, just like you do in any percent. So you need to kill... You would like to kill 2 bombs here on this very first screen. You want to kill that bomb next to this chest. You want to kill this bomb. You want to kill these 3 here. Now, as you see, these bombs are moving around, and they can kind of walk out of your way before you touch them. You want to kill that bomb, preferably, and then you want to kill 3 of these 4 at the end. Now, there is a 4th bomb to use as a backup should you miss a bomb somewhere earlier here. But you need to kill 9. So your movement has to be very straight, very touch and go. I mean, you can't dance around an enemy trying to kill it. I mean, you gotta get it. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, see, like that. 5. Now I need to kill all 4 here. And I did. That's the backup. If you miss a bomb, don't try to go back for it. Keep going forward. Now, if you don't get if you don't get both bombs on that first screen with the star, then you have to get all 4 bombs at the end. So there's like one enemy that you've got as a buffer. You don't want to kill 10, because that may give you a pause. I think you're going to get a pause anyway on Land's End, regardless in this route, but I don't think it matters too much. But if you can kill 10, go for it. Now, see, the bomb's so far away, I'm just going to ignore it, and then I need to kill all the bombs coming up. This will... See, now that's a rip right there. That's a rip. So that's what can happen if... The bombs can do that to you, so be wary of that. It doesn't really kill the run, but it makes a lot of the fights later a little scarier, because Mario's not at the correct level. So yeah, that's a problem. See how erratic those bombs are? They can be trolly. So that's gonna be close. But that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You want to kill that bomb. You need to kill that bomb because you actually have to go back for that chest. If the Sparky appeared as you're doing the invincibility star, that's good. So once again, you're going to have Mario select special. Mallow can choose attack here because he's going to be attacking during Punch and Yellow. Geno's level 7 and level 8 are still HP. In fact, he takes HP on every level in this category. So the reason that we want to kill that bomb is because the bomb can actually clip you when you're trying to get this chest, and you need all 150 coins. If the Sparky appeared during the star, when you're going back to get that chest, and I'll reset again just to show, when he reappears, he'll come after you, but he'll always disappear before he gets to you the first time. Now after that, all bets are off. So you need to hit this chest accurately in a rhythm, and don't, like, you know, overjump or anything. Daggone it. But luckily I'm running away, and I'm getting into more encounters. Well, that sucks. Okay, in that particular encounter, that could be bad. That's why I reset it. I just need to jump over and do this star correctly this time. But yeah, you definitely need to kill that bomb next to that chest. The coin chest. So you can wait here if you want, but that could work against you. So yeah, your star runs out as you're getting to that cluster of bombs. So it's very important that your movement is very, very accurate. Once again, Mario takes special every level. Mallow's level ups are the same for level, you know, 3, 4, 5. Geno takes HP. And now we're gonna get this chest. So notice where I'm standing. See, he's already disappeared. And now all bets are off. And when he appears and reappears and disappears is random. You do want to get this flower in Big Culex, because you need all the flowers you can get. Everyone counts. Okay, now, if you have 2 Energizers here, this strat's pretty interesting, because it allows you to finish the fight in 5 full turns instead of, like, 6 partials. So, Geno's going to attack normally. Mario can attack normally. And now, like before, you're going to use an Energizer on Geno. Now, for the second turn, if you have another Energizer to use, Mario is going to use it on Mallow, because Mallow can attack for more. And now at this point, since you have Fearless pins on both Mallow and Geno, they can't be feared. And if Mario gets feared, if you have 2 energized characters, Mario doesn't need to attack at all. But if you have only Geno energized, Geno has to attack. What's up, Cactus? So right here's an example. Mario gets sandstormed. He's basically useless until his fear wears off. So I'm just gonna skip his turn. Because Mallow and Geno's damage output is more than enough to take care of Punchinello. Now, if you don't have the second Energizer, if Mario is feared, you do have to able juice him to keep up with the damage to ensure that you finish Punchinello in 6 turns. But only with the double Energizer strat can you finish in 5. So yeah, I think that was 5 turns actually. So I don't have to reset to show that again. But I did demonstrate on Mario, if Mario is feared and you only have one energized character, yes, he needs to be healed. Punchinello can only use Sandstorm 1 time. Once he does, he can't do it again. He only has enough FP for 1 cast. The second Energizer comes from a freebie. So if you get an Energizer freebie, then you've got a 2 Energizer Punchinello strat. Which 2 Energizer Punchinello is common when you got 3 Energizers to work with in this category. Normally in any percent, you only have 1 Energizer. That's all you buy. In Big Culex, you buy 3. So there's a very good chance you got you have a chance to freebie at least one of those to have 2 for Punchinello. It's not required, but it makes the fight a little bit easier if you have 2 Energizers to work with. Remember, in one of my any percent PBs, I had 4 Energizer freebies. And that's off of 1 Energizer. So now this is where part of the Big Culex route is a little bit different once we finish the minecart. You do have to conduct a little bit of business in Moleville before you leave here. You don't just straight leave once you get control after the cutscenes coming up. So just hold right. Go into the cutscenes here. Say no to the tutorial here. Time really doesn't matter here, but I will try to do this as best I can. You jump and use your mushroom immediately. You don't have to break here. Not yet. Hold right. Jump. Jump again for this one. Get ready for a break here, and then at the hairpin. Break. Break boost. Break. Hold right again. Boost. Jump. Oh, I missed it. Well, that sucks. Well, I'm not going to boot you. I would boost there, but I don't have the mushroom. So we're going to break here. Boost. Jump. Boost. Jump. Break. Break. Start boosting as soon as you see the next screen. Jump. Jump boost. Jump boost. Boost. Jump. 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 Oh, I missed the jump. Okay, this is going to be a bad minecart then. So there's a lot of boosts I can't do now in this 3rd section. Jump. Always, those double hairpins like that, you always have to break those. You will always crash if you're not breaking. Don't hold a direction there, because it doesn't matter which path you take, it's the same amount of time, so get the one with the mushroom. Break there, at least diligently. Don't just lightly tap, because you can still crash there. You can crash on that hairpin. Jump. Jump. Boost. Jump. You don't have to brake there because you won't crash. Yeah, this is not a very good minecart tutorial. That will come later. Jump. Jump. You're basically jumping when you get to the shallow parts of the track, but when you get toward the middle part, or toward the ending, you have to jump a little earlier for coins. That wasn't too bad. Alright, more cutscenes. So now this is where the Beat Culex run really starts to get a little interesting, because what has happened in the mines can dictate what happens in the rest of your run. Since we didn't get the flower box, you don't have that money to use for extra bombs. So if you're kind of scared of not having enough bombs, you can actually go ahead and visit Booster Pass Secret later if you want. You just have to hit the switch. So that is one option you have if you don't get the box. If you get the box, then you don't need to really do that. You should have enough bombs anyway. But if you're starting out and you want to get all the bombs possible, then go right ahead. So we have to mash through all this first. Now, before we leave Moville, we actually have to get the shiny stone that we need to access the Culex fight. You could actually come back later and do it, but it's just an extra trip that you really don't need to take. Now, this is why you sold those Kira Colas and the wallet and got the 150 coin chest now. Because look at your coin count. You have 900 coins. And you're going to be picking up coins later. And remember, any extra coins you get over $9.99 are lost. And the fireworks cost 500 coins. So we're making an investment now for the shiny stone. And it's going to be in our inventory at the very end of the run. So we get your fireworks, you leave, and you come out here and you trade it for the shiny stone. Once you do that, you can leave Moville. So Booster Pass. Do not examine this bush here for the frog coin, you don't need it. So just hold right. Once you get to this part of this ledge, hold upright, jump over that artichoke. That is an enemy that you have to fight if you touch it, and you can't run away from it. Get this important rock candy. Now, if you are not doing Clown Manip, you have to do the old Fire Orb strat and attack Great Guy with your characters. If you're doing Clown Manip, then obviously you're going to use the rock candy later. You actually use the rock candy in a couple of fights. This screen, you just leave. As long as you don't run into any of these guys, you should be fine. If you noticed right there, I'm going to go back. There is a flower here. If you want to get that flower, you can get it. You won't be coming back to this part. You won't be coming back to this screen. So you can actually go and get it now if you want. And just for this tutorial, I'm going to pick it up. So, the Booster Pass Secret has a Kira Cola that you can sell for coins. If you don't get the box drop. It's kind of like a backup bomb, per se. Because that's what you're selling it for, is a bomb. What's up, Haddock, by the way? I haven't been watching chat very much. So, if I didn't mention you, apologize. Alright, so, once Bowser's goes, you examine the door, and then you try to leave, you know, just like an 80%. Booster Tower is a little bit easier in Big Culex since you don't have to pick up all these frog coins. So that means the checkerboard room is super free. Like, don't be afraid of the checkerboard room, where all those encounters are that you can't run from. So you say no to the Switch tutorial here. Go in. Be careful around these blue Sniffits. If you touch those, you can't run. And you have to kill them. So if you want, do this. They only run... He only checks these portraits, so you don't have to worry about him getting into this lane, per se, where you have to deal with him. But if you want to take the optimal line, you just jump over him. For this screen, start in the inside track. Once you get to here, you see how Mario is not touching the Sniffits as long as you're holding against the wall. You do that, and you're good. There's a hidden frog coin here. You don't need it. Just as long as you're holding the wall, these blue Sniffits will not touch you. But if you step out into the path just a little bit, you're into a fight. So make sure you're holding left there. Bash through this text. Start holding right and run. And as soon as you get behind this block, follow the track up right. And there's a flower tab there. You need that, actually. Now for this room, hold right until you get to the corner there. You're going to jump over that bomb, that bomb. This room does take a little bit of practice. I even had trouble when I first started. But the idea is to avoid all the bombs while constantly moving. You do have to pause a little bit there, because if you try to non-stop that particular spot, I got into a bomb encounter quite a few times. So we'll do it again. Jump, 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 jump. Go into follow booster. If you want to go to Booster Pass to get the extra backup hero to sell, hit the switch. If you're a beginner, you're probably going to hit the switch anyway. There's also a couple of flowers in Booster Pass that you can get later if you're short on flowers after Booster Hill. So that's kind of like a safety as well. For this room, when you hold up, when you run, when you get to this black square, right here, the second one from the blue platform, you can jump and you'll land right here on the very edge. Do it again, and then hold left, and then hold up again, and then hold straight up into that door. Like so. Jump, jump, up. And then for this room, hold up. The idea here is to jump on the squares that don't have a bomb sitting there waiting on you. Jump, jump, and then here, and then you should be free. Up, up. See, now if you don't stop, if you don't stop for a minute, you'll touch that bomb just like that. You see, I hit the other one too. You want to run from these fights. You don't have any room for experience, usually. So you see, I actually stopped Mario from moving forward. Just land on that square, and then... There you go. Alright. Just hold down on this screen. Up left. Right, and then you're just following the tracks. Here's a trick I found. Jump from getting up to this one. I jump from this square to this square, and then I jump onto this square, and then jump from here, and you always land on the trampoline, or should. Like that. You don't need any frog coins here, so you just jump straight up. Be careful of the blue Sniffits. If you touch them, you're in an encounter that you can't run from. So hold up, up right, up left. Checkerboard room is very easy. Follow the coins. Every quadrant of squares that has a coin is safe. So this is safe. These 4 squares are safe. So are these, but you don't need this frog coin. But this set of 4 squares and that set of 4 squares over here have a bomb. So you do have to jump that to not get a fight, and then you just leave. Now, the coins do not reappear, so you have to kind of memorize that. But here it is again. Just like that. And then in this screen, you can just simply hold left until you get all the way over here, and then run down. And you won't touch any of the chomps. So there's a lot of input buffering with all these very, very fast screens. Now, if you're doing the fire orb strat on Knife Guy, and you're not doing Clown Manip, then you need to pick up these treasures at the top before you go into the fight. If you're doing Clown Manip, you actually come back and save. But I am going to do Clown Manip. The Clown strat, well, I'll explain that in a minute. We'll do the curtain game first. The Clown Manip is where we time our attacks to ensure that we get the results that we want. So, if you use Terrorize on a specific frame, it will always hit both clowns, regardless if you rotate the D-pad or anything. If you use an item on the correct frame, it will always freebie. Stuff like that. If you attack on a specific frame, it will always deal a certain amount of damage. If you time it or untime it or whatever. Like, all these results are pre-planned in the RNG. Or in the RNG string. So the concept of Clown Manip is we want to make the fight as easy as possible, attack-wise. That's fast, but it requires us to input certain commands on the right frames. If you went into the clown fight without saving and resetting for RNG to reset the RNG, then it's truly random. You don't know what's going to happen. And Great Guy has mute and sleep attacks, which we don't have protection against in this, now that we've got Fearless Pins instead of Wake Up Pins. So that's why Clown Manip is a thing. It allows us to have an easy fight, and we don't have to deal with spells. And I'm going to spend a little bit of time here discussing why we do Clown Manip, because I'm going to do the fight normally how we used to do it without manipulating freebies, and then you're going to see the difference when we do Clown Manip, and you'll see what big a difference it makes. But I do have to save beforehand, regardless of what I do, because the Clown Manip does require you to save and reset. So if you're not doing Clown Manip, then you need to pick up the goodie bag that's in the previous room before you do the fight. If you're doing Clown Manip, then you can pick them up before you save. That's really the only difference. Also, if you got in any encounters that you can run from, but you took damage, or you had to expend some FP, there is a hidden chest here in the corner of the previous room that has an instant recovery mushroom. Before the clown fight, you do have to do some menuing. Go to Switch, swap in Bowser for Mallow, go to Equip, select Jump Shoes, go down to Fearless Pin, and then over to Amulet. The cursor actually remembers where it last was on the left half of the menu. So whenever you go over to the other half and equip something, when the cursor comes back and finishes the equipment, it's going to go right back to where it left off, which it'll end at Geno, as you see here. So once again, we're going to Jump Shoes. We're going to go down first. And notice that it doesn't go to Bowser because he doesn't have an accessory we can take. So it skips over him. We go to Geno, go over to Amulet, and it still remembers the initial equipper, which is Mario. And then we go to Fearless Pin. We're going to move down. It goes to Mallow's Fearless Pin. We're going to move it up. We're going to give it to Bowser. Hit up twice. And now we're going to give Bowser the work pants. The 4th pair of work pants we bought. So I'm going to do that again. A little bit faster so you can see how it's done. So, switch. Swap in Bowser. Down, down. A, down, over. Down, A, up, A, and then work pants. Then you exit. So, if you're not fully healed, then there's an instant recovery mushroom there, you can get it. You need to get this goodie bag that's hidden on top of this chest. That sells for 555 coins, which will be helpful. Alright. Actually, I'm gonna save as is. Alright, we're gonna do the fight the old way. And in order to do the fight the old way, you need at least 16 flowers. And that's why I picked up the Punchinello, the flower before Punchinello. Because if you have 15, you need that one. So, this is what happens if you don't do Clown Manip and you don't have wake-up pins for this fight. We're gonna see how good this fight goes. So you attack Knife Guy first with Geno. You terrorize with Bowser. Terrorize can miss, so this is why we do Clown Manip. That ensures that it doesn't. Okay, luckily it hit. And now we're gonna Fire Orb Knife Guy. And you don't mash really, really fast. You have to do a rhythmic mash there. Alright, and here's why. Luckily, muting Geno doesn't mean anything. Geno does not do specials right now. So now Geno and Bowser are going to attack Great Guy. And then Mario is going to take down Knife Guy. Knife Guy only does physicals. So that's why we don't really worry about Knife Guy. He's not really threatening if you know how to block his attacks. So we're going to do the second Fire Orb, and this should kill if you do enough damage. So all these spells that Great Guy does takes time. Okay, he didn't put anyone to sleep yet. But we still got another round to do here. So, Mario doesn't really have to do anything now. Alright, this is why. Oh, but it missed. If Geno was asleep, then that would mean that we'd have to take another turn, probably. But luckily, that missed. So, it really didn't affect the flow of the fight. But that's why. If Bowser was put to sleep, that's really bad. If Mario is put to sleep, that's really bad. Really, anybody, it's bad. Okay. Now, to do Clown Manip, as soon as you load the save, you're gonna run straight down like this, and down, and this is something Switch found, by the way. You're gonna hold down until the screen transition. During the black out, you're gonna hold down, and then as soon as you cross the toy box, you're gonna hold left, and you're gonna go right into the fight. All this movement is so that you enter the fight on the correct frame, so that you get the correct RNGC. There's 2 different sets of RNG that you gotta do. And I'm gonna save again, because how you save matters as well. But I'm gonna cover this in a different Clown Manip tutorial I'm going to do later. I'm just going to do the Manip a little bit, try to commentate a little bit of it, and you'll see the difference. So here's the buffer. And all this is time sensitive. You cannot wait. You can't wait forever. This is all on a time sensitive plan. Mash to the text. Attack on that note, or close to it. Block. Confirm. On that long note there. Rotate for max damage. Cue up the rock candy. Boom. That might be late, but if not... Okay, we're good. Okay, delay that one a little bit. I'm listening for notes in the music to confirm the rock candy's off of. This doesn't matter. That does matter. And okay, now if this was now the Manip doesn't matter anymore. We got the 2 rock candy freebies. Now if Mario had extra attack power from level 3, then that would have killed. But since he doesn't have it because he takes special on all the levels, it may or may not kill. He can still deal like 126 or 122 to kill. If it doesn't, it's not a big deal. The Clown Manip isn't as perfect as it is in any percent. Now, I had to jump on that save block at the top of the oscillation. Mario had to land on that save block at the top of the oscillation to get the correct RNG. If I were to, let's say, watch this. I'm going to say when Mario hits the bottom of the oscillation there. Now watch when I reset and I try to do the same cues again. You're going to get different results on some of them. So I'm going to do the same movement again. Down. Down and left. Now when I do all the cues this time, they may not work. See? Attacking Bowser isn't supposed to happen, I don't think, in the correct Manip. This should not freebie now. If I do, it's lucky. See? It didn't freebie. So, I was on the other set of RNG, and on that particular frame window that I confirmed the rock candy, it doesn't freebie. So, I'm going to go back and fix the save like I'm supposed to. See, Mario hit the top of the oscillation there. And now I have to reset, and now the Manip should be good again. That's something I found when I was testing it. I was having trouble getting Clown Manip every time. And then how you land on the box actually matters. But this is the difference between Clown Manip and doing the fight the old way. You mitigate all those spells. And the rock candy will always go back in that same slot. Now see? Now I have to clear that text box. I have to clear that text box within a certain frame window. I actually cleared it late. And Bowser ended up being put to sleep. The trick there is to when you clear it, there's a 6-frame window where Great Guy will do a physical attack on someone. It doesn't matter who the physical goes for, as long as it does a physical. Because you can block the physical. That's what you want. That's the trickiest part of the Clown Manip, actually. Everything else is easy. Okay, that's a good roll. So on that long note there, you confirm the Terrorize. The Terrorize will hit both clowns guaranteed if you hit the 74-frame window. That's a 10-frame window. This is a 6-frame here. Okay, I got the last 2 frames. This is also 6 frames. And at that point, it doesn't matter. Okay. Once you see that second freebie, you mash out the text there. You still have to be timely though. And you have to confirm that, and there we go. You need to deal with at least 120 there to kill Great Guy without an extra turn. That is the proper Clown Manip. Alright, enough about that. Now for the truly critical part of the run is the Booster Hill. You need to get a lot of flowers here, and I've made a tutorial on this as well. And it should help you get at least double-digit flowers. But, like I said, you get as many as possible. Every bit helps. So, we're just going to, I'm just going to, just do the hill. If you want to see the Booster Hill tutorial, it's separate. Okay, I got lucky there. The barrels will come down in twos, but you don't know what lane until you see them. I just got lucky there. Once you see three, they're always going to go down one each side. So right now you got three. So I stay up here because you got more time to see the barrel. And you can time your jumps. Alright. That's a good number. That might be like 14 or 15, actually. Which is really, really good. That you need a lot of flowers. 13. That's still good. So you automatically go to Marymore at this point. Now you're going to hold up, and then eventually you're going to hold upright and go into the second row of stairs. There's like, these stairs are like 4 tiles wide. See, there's a, Mario can stand in that tile, that tile, that tile, that tile. Go to the second row, and you're going to hold straight up. Jump over that flower person. Once you get to the top of the stairs, you're going to examine and talk to that mushroom person. Because the camera will be panned as far up possible when this cutscene happens right here. Very little camera movement. And then, once you get control again, you're going to go in the back door. Now the part of the run where you bought those pick-me-ups and able juices back at Mushroom Kingdom are going to come into play right here, potentially. In case you get bad luck from the cake, you've got able juices and pick-me-ups to keep yourself alive in the fight. Definitely a place you want to safety save if you're starting out. So when you get control, you wait for the Sniffit to touch the ground, and then you run alongside him into the door. So instead of examining the door, you just leave the room and come back, and there's Bowser. Now this is where I'm going to do the safety save. And I'm going to save on a different file. Same idea. Once you see Bowser turn backwards, start running. So, a lot more text here, just like always. Now, this is also a slight change. The old route that I think Pidge came up with actually had you buy a bracer at Tadpole Pond. We're actually going to use the red essence here. I find the bracer isn't, like, as important. I feel like essence is just better in general. And now, here's the problem. Getting these Sniffits. That can be a pain. Okay, that worked out. So yeah, you gather all of her gear, and then you talk to Booster. So same thing in any percent. If you get the Essence freebie, you sell it for an extra Firebomb. If you get the box drop from Croco 2, you sell that for 2 extra Ice Bombs. And you'll see why those extra drops matter later. And why, if you really got the Flower Box drop from Croco 2, that's all you need. You'll see why just the 2 Ice Bombs alone are enough. When I get to the Seaside menu, and you'll see how the money situation works out. So with Geno and Bowser with Fearless Pins, Sandstorm really is not going to affect them at all. And with Mario under the Red Essence spell, he should be safe as long as you don't get really bad Cake Magic attacks on Geno. Geno, with his extra defense, he can take a little bit more punishment. Make sure you block those attacks. You have to kind of press the button in the middle of their arm swinging to hit the 0. It's very, very crucial that Geno doesn't take a lot of damage. Well, also Mario, but those two in particular are pretty vulnerable. Bowser, forever, although he only takes 1 damage, so he's pretty much the tank. So you attack with everybody for the first round. Make sure you time everything. Always advance with the D-pad here. Don't advance with the A, X, Y, or B. Oh wow, they're all gunning for Mario. Okay. And wait for them to jump in front of a character they're attacking and do their animation. Don't press it while they're jumping over in front of them, or you'll miss the timing completely. Because remember, you only get 1 button press to block, so make it count. So, Mario's going to use the Essence here before we go into Phase 2. Geno can take, I think, a couple of Sandstorms. He can also take, I believe, a Drain Beam, and he'll live. So, no freebie. Okay, now, if he is Essenced, if any physical goes for Mario, don't bother blocking it, because that wastes his frames. Because he has to go through a block animation. But since he's Essence, he's going to take 0. So, only if you know is going for Mario, don't block. If he's Essenced. Now, if he's not under Essence, then yes, you have to block. And make sure that all your attacks are timed, because you need to finish the fight here with Geno. If not, then you have to defend with Bowser and Mario just to get back to Geno to finish the fight on turn order. But then you lose a turn off of Mario's Essence if he's already used it. So you gotta be careful. Alright, so now we do untimed attacks here. Now, before I attack with Mario, you gotta pay attention to the cake after Mario's attack. If you see the cake, the bottom half of the cake will always attack first. If you see him shake, then it's possible he'll do a physical that you can block. And it's when he moves, his backward motion stops is when you press. If the cake doesn't move whatsoever, a fast ball is coming at somebody. And it's totally different timings. This fight is all about experimentation, trial and error, and getting it right. So let's see what we get. Press. See, if you get a spell, it doesn't matter. You're just preparing for the physical. So there. The top half did not move, so a slow ball came out on Bowser. If that goes for Bowser, don't block it. It only deals like 1 or 2 damage. It doesn't mean anything. If it goes for Geno, it actually goes pretty fast. So you have to be ready for the fastball. If it goes for Mario, he should take 0 because of the essence. But if he's not essence and he gets a slow, it's going to go at him real slow. You watch for the ball to go past Bowser's left horn there. When it comes right on his left horn, you press. It's a very deceptive timing. So, once again, if Geno is asleep or Bowser is asleep from a lullaby, then you have to use a red essence on the other character to revive them, and then Mario has to attack to break even on the turn count. Okay, Drain Beam, that was a spell. We couldn't block it anyway. Watch for the top half of the cake. Okay, Shook, I pressed. Bam. So, perfect. That was a good phase 2. So, now that we know that we're going to finish the fight on schedule, once Mario attacks here with no candles lit, the top phase is over. We won't see Lullaby anymore. We won't see Diamond Saw or Blizzard. The only thing we have to worry about is Sandstorm or Drain Beam in physicals. So watch for the shake. Press. Boom. Now, if everyone is alive on this first turn on phase 3, attack with everybody and jump with Mario. Because Mario's essence is going to wear off right after he does the first jump. If you're on schedule. Say the essence wears off now. So we jump on the cake. He's weak to jump. Oh, perfect. Now, if Mario is unfeared on this last turn, you don't need to attack with Geno. Geno's attack is actually longer. So skip him. You need Bowser to attack regardless, and then jump with Mario again. And booyah. Fight's over. If any character dies during phase 2, they need to be revived with the pick-me-up immediately. That's what all those safety items are for. To keep you from game overing in this fight. Because if you get down to 1 versus 1 on phase 2 and you run out of pick-me-ups, the run's over. Because you need at least 2 characters alive to progress the fight. Every turn. So that was a really good fight, actually. Geno took 1 Drain Beam, and he took 1 Sandstorm, and still had plenty of health. If Geno dies in phase 3, it's not really a big deal. As long as Mario is not feared, it doesn't matter. Because Bowser and Mario alone can kill the cake by themselves. But Geno's attack is just a helper. It gives you extra damage in case Mario is feared. And then you've already got that damage made up from the attack. Because Mario's jump will only deal 75 at that point. So, Mallow is actually obsolete. So we just use HP bonus. Just like in 80%. So luckily that worked out first try. So you just leave the chapel, and you leave Marrymore through the front entrance. If you try to leave through the side entrance next to the chapel, your party members are going to scold you for not taking the princess home. Now, the reason I didn't go into the basement of the Mushroom Kingdom so the reason we didn't go to the basement of the Mushroom Kingdom the first time around because we didn't know how well we were going to do on the Booster Hill. But if you are low on flowers here, after you talk to the shopkeeper to get to return the rare frog coin that Croco stole earlier. If you need some flowers, there are these 2 chests down here, and I'll show you where they are. What's up, Craig? So, the first one is right on top of the mushroom person here. The second is here in the corner, but it requires a little bit of help, or you can try to get it from the steps, but that's a little difficult. So, what you can do, you can try to block the mushroom person. There we go, like that. You can do that. And they'll give you some backup flowers before you do the long cutscene here. So this is a big ABC time. Absolutely boring cutscene. Alright. So this is just a big cutscene. So I'm just gonna mash through it. And then I'll explain if you want to take the safety Kira or not. If you get the red essence freebie from Bunt, you don't necessarily need the Kira Cola from Booster Pass Secret. So if you hit the switch beforehand in preparation that you might need to go there anyway, and you get the red essence freebie, then you don't need to revisit the Booster Pass. Unless you want the extra bomb anyway. Fire bombs aren't completely useless in this run, as they are. They're more utilized in this category than in any percent, because we don't fight every boss in the later half of the game. We only go up to Balloon 2. But fire bombs actually have a use elsewhere, but ice is more important on some fights than fire, and I'll cover that later. But one key thing that you do have to be able to do in this category is that you need to be able to hit 100 jumps on Johnny without the bandana red, without the bandana blue sitting there. That is very, very risky in the run. So if you're having trouble dropping, or if you're having trouble hitting 100 on Johnny, this could be a little tricky. Because it's very, very important. Mario's does not have the experience boosters, so he's at a lower level. And on top of that, the way that the super jumps are calculated, he doesn't deal enough damage to one-shot him with super jumps. So that's a problem. I think 100 super jumps on Johnny in this route only deals like 300 and some. Or no, I'm sorry, 600 and some. But if he's in the red phase, it deals like 330. It's very low. So when you come out here, you go back in the castle and leave, and then the princess is there at the bottom. So I'm gonna play this as if I were a beginner. Since I didn't get the box drop or the essence freebie, I'm going to pick up the extra Kira Cola that's in the Booster Pass Secret. And I'm going to get the extra flowers as well. Just so you know how important the extra item can be. So once you get Princess, you leave. You go to Tadpole Pond. And you go straight to Frog Fuchsia's. If you jump from right about here, you land on the stone without Mario having to walk to the middle of the stone. And then you talk to Frog Fuchsia's there. And you'll give back the cricket pie for him. You'll get a froggy stick, which you're going to sell for money. And then you talk to him again so you can open up Star Hill. and then you leave. So before, let's review our items. We still got our shiny stone. We still got the rock candy. We got our goodie bag. We should have a flower tab jar and a box. The Energizer there doesn't mean anything, and we still should have 1 honey syrup. Remember, we bought 6 honey syrups in Mushroom Kingdom at the start of the run. We've used 5. The extra honey syrup is for the Gyaradovic fight. So if you're gonna come to Booster Pass Secret, go in from the Moleville side, not from Booster Tower. Come in from Moleville. Hold up and jump up. Keep holding up. Jump right here to reveal a flower there on top of the bush, and then go in the cave. And then when you run up the cave, run on this side, and that's why the Sniffet there, or the Apprentice, is a fight, and you can't run from it. So you need to be on the left lane here, not the right, and just jump over the spikies, and then grab the chest on the wings. The middle chest has a frog coin, which you don't need. Once you get the Kuro, just walk off and you can leave. Now, when you enter the item inventory, your items will automatically sort for you. So you see the Kuro is right there. If you had the red essence, it would be right before the Kuro, just so you know. If you ever have both. And then you leave. And you go straight to Star Hill. Star Hill, very, very straightforward. Just hit all of the flowers and go to the next area. So, straight ahead, hit that one. Turn straight to the right, hit that one. Hit that one, hold up. Hit this one. As you're holding that one, buffer down left, and if you do so, that crook will not get into a fight with you. The walls here are kind of hard to see because of, you know, the Star Hill mounds or whatever, the craters. Then for the last area, you're going to hit 5 of these first, then you're going to get the star, and then you're going to hit the last one. And then, once you hit that one, hold upright, and you're going to go right into that area. I'll be back. I'm going to take one other break, and then we'll go into probably the most key part of the run, the seaside menu. Now we hit the final star flower to leave Star Hill. Now, since we don't have any frog coins, we don't have the experience booster, but we're just gonna go straight up and talk to the Elder, and that's gonna open up the next area. As you see, you just have to walk in a straight line, and then you're gonna go to the seaside menu. But before I do, I'm gonna save. There's quite a few things to go over in the seaside menu. First off, you do the order of menuing a little different than you do at any %. First, you're gonna go to equip and get all your equipment taken care of before you start any buying or selling. So I just jump, holding, you know, left, jump up, and talk to the guy while standing on the counter. So, your coin count when you get here should be right around 430 or 440. It shouldn't really matter if you're below like 5 or 6 coins. It shouldn't make a difference. So first thing you're going to do, you're going to go to equip. You're going to remove Mario's weapon. You're going to do that by selecting it and then just moving over to an empty slot on the right side here. This menu does wrap, or the list does wrap, so you can actually go to the bottom. So when I select the punch glove, I'm going to move over and then up to go to the blank spot. And the equipment are going to automatically sort for you. Mario keeps the amulet in this category. Normally Geno gets it, but this is Beat Culex, so the menu's done a little different. You go straight to the Fearless pins for Bowser and Geno. You're going to take them off. Basically, all the weapons are going to come off. So you take off Geno's weapon, you take off his Fearless pin. Now, when you move over initially, it's going to be on top of the other pin. You got to push up to move it to a empty spot so you can actually remove it properly. You're going to press down twice to get to Peach. You're going to take off her weapon first. And then go to her polka dress. You're going to swap it with the work pants from Mallow. This is important because Princess is taking from character B, not the other way around. So since she can take from character B, now Mallow can't wear the polka dress. It doesn't belong to him, so the game will automatically kick it off of him into the inventory. And then from here, you go to the symbols and take them off. And then you back out. So that's how you do that. And then after that, then you start doing a bunch of buying and selling to get your bombs that you need. And I'm doing this in English, so anyone who's watching will understand what to do first. It'd be a lot harder to do this in Japanese than English. But the items are in the same place in Japanese as well, so it's all about muscle memory. So you go to Equip, remove the punch glove, go down, you can buffer down as it unequips to get the cursor to move faster. Go to Fearless, take it off, Finger Shot comes off, Fearless comes off, down twice, up twice, Slap Glove comes off. Go down to Polka Dress, go up to Work Pants, and you get a 2-for-1. Peach gets the Work Pants, and Mallow gets the Polka Dress removed, and then you remove the symbols. Now you're going to sell the equips to get your money close to $9.99 as possible. And you can do this by alternating Y and A. As you see, both buttons work on this menu. And you're up to 900. You should be right around 900. What's up, Scrub Zone? And now you're going to start buying your first batch of bombs. I don't have a list here that I can post, so I'm just going to explain it. First, you do equips. Remove the pin, remove the finger shot, remove the other pin, remove the glove, swap the dress with the work pants, then take off the symbols. Sell the equips, and then you're going to go up into buy. First, you're going to buy your 3 ice bombs, and then you're going to go buy a fright bomb. So 3 ice, 1 fright. You're going to press B. You're going to go to sell items. You're going to press up because you're going to sell the flower tab, jar, and the box all in one felt swoop. So you start at tab and press A 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Press B. Go back to buy. And now you're going to buy 4 fire bombs and another fright bomb. You're back to 61. So you just bought 850 coins of bombs, and now you bought 900. Now you're going to go back to sell items, because you've already done your equipments and you've sold your equipments. You need to keep at least 1 honey syrup and sell the rest of your small items. If you have the Kiro Cola that you got from Booster Pass, or the Essence freebie, this can be substituted either or. You sell that along with the items here. So you're going to sell small items plus the essence if you have it, along with your goodie bag. Now, if you have 800, you buy 4 fire bombs. If you have just 600, you buy 3 fire. You buy all the ice you're gonna have, because you're gonna hope for a freebie. You need a couple of freebies if you don't have enough fire, or if you don't have enough bombs outright. So after that, you buy the rest fire. If you have the flower box dropped from Croco 2, you would sell that in separately and buy 2 extra ice. And then you're good for the whole run, actually. So right now, we're done with the Seaside menu. That's all we can do. And then you would just leave Seaside. But we're going to look at our items for a minute. We got our honey syrup. That's for Yuridovic. We're hoping for a mushroom drop from the bandana reds. That's going to be important for Yared also. You should have 7 fire bombs normally. The extra one is from the extra Kira that we picked up. You should have 3 ice bombs. You should have a rock candy, and you should have 2 fright bombs. 1 fright bomb is automatically reserved for Johnny, because we have to do strictly a fright bomb, or a fire bomb, fright bomb, 100 super jump strat on him. The 3 ice are for the ants in Land's End. If we get one of these to freebie, we can use it on the 4th set of ants. If we have an extra fire and no ice, we can back that up. We're going to use 4 fire bombs on King Calamari, just like an any percent. We're going to use a fire bomb on the 2 bandana red fights, and we're going to use a fire bomb on Johnny. So we would like a fire bomb to freebie for Yuridovic, because we have to do 5 shockers, just like an any percent, for this to work. Or we get a rock candy freebie. The rock candy is going to be used for Yuridovic also. So that's where the big changes are that I've come up with. And you'll see that play out in this half of the tutorial. This is where the tutorial really kind of gets a little technical, because now we're dealing with all these bomb freebies and where they're used for. So I'm going to do the Seaside menu a little bit faster now to show how it should look. So first you do equips, sell equips. Sell equips. Buy 3-1. 3 ice, 1 fright. Now we're going to sell tab jar box. Buy 4 fire, 1 fright. Sell items again. Sell small items. If you have the Kiro or an essence equivalent, sell it along with the goodie bag. And then buy fire bombs until you can't no more. And then if you have the flower box from Croco 2, sell it independently. And you buy 2 ice, which we don't have. But if we had the box drop, we're good on bombs. So that is the Seaside menu. And I'm going to do it one more time, and we're going to do it super fast. And then we'll go to the sea, and we'll do the Sea Star and the ability swap. Little error there, but that's good. And there you go. It's very important that you save if you're not comfortable with this Sea Star. You don't want to mess this up. If you mess this up, the run's probably dead. What you're going to do the ability swap glitch like you do at 80%. The idea is that when you're under a star chest, if you jump and then quickly pause before, or you quickly enter the menu before you hit the chest, you're actually able to swap characters here. What's going to happen is when you switch 2 characters, if Toadstool were to learn, or if Toadstool reaches level 10, he learns a skill that was in the position of that character. So, in this example, we're going to swap Toadstool with Mallow. Toadstool was on top of Mallow's original spot, so if she reaches a level where Mallow normally learns a skill at, she's going to take it instead. So, in this example, Toadstool is going to level up to 10. Mallow learns Shocker at level 10. So instead of Mallow getting the skill, Peach will get it. Now, sadly, since Peach joins at level 9, Mallow doesn't learn anything if he levels up in Peach's place. So we do, and it's also important. Before I hit the star, as soon as you come out of the menu, that star timer is going. And you got to hit these enemies very accurately. You're going to hit this star first. You're going to hit this one, then this one. Then you're going to hold right, and come down and touch this one. You're going to jump up and hit that one. You're going to make a couple of jumps to get up here. You're going to just run straight down the wall. And once you get here, then you're going to fall down onto this star that's below me, like right here. Then you're going to the next screen. You're going to barely walk into the middle of these 2 lanes. That way you can barely clip this star here. And you're going to touch this one, this one, this one. And then as the star ends, you're going to kill this one. And if your movement is good enough, you'll actually enter the next screen before you enter your level ups. And that was a mistake. Okay, cool. So that was good. So now we're going to do this the right way. And then, okay, we're in the menu. Now you're not under any time pressure until you exit this menu. Just be sure that you swap Toadstool and Mallow, and then exit, and then that's when your movement counts. Boom, 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 boom. Hold down a little bit. Clip. Okay, there you go. And Mario will actually move a little bit before you enter the levels. So remember, Mario still takes special here in Beat Culex. Every level he takes special. Bowser will just take HP. He's not physically attacking anymore. Gino will also take HP. This is required. Peach. Okay, this is actually Mallow. So when you do the level ups here, these characters swap. This is actually Mallow. So he's obsolete. Now this is actually Peach. And we give Peach special here. That is important for shocker damage. And different from any percent, you don't do any equipment changes. Mario keeps the amulet the whole time until Johnny is over. And now we're in the ship. A neat little trick I found here. In this second room of the ship, if you buffer up right, like this, if there's no ghost that appears in your way, you can actually take the direct optimal line in that room. However, if something like that happens, where the ghost appears in this line right here, then I hold up a little bit just to get out of that path, so I don't get into an encounter. The ghosts are very, very dangerous in the ship, so don't touch them if you can. So you just buffer up. If you see a ghost on that line, you just hold up, and then watch for the dry bones. Regardless, pick up that flower there. Drop down that door, drop down this door. This is all the same as in any percent. The fight is going to be a little different, though. So, hit this one. 4, 2, 3, 2. You should get pearls. Or Suizoku-kan if you're playing in Japanese. I'm going to save before this fight. Now, if your bomb count is the standard, and what I mean by standard is that worst case scenario, you should have 7 fire bombs, 3 ice, a rock, and 2 fright. In this bomb count, you need 2 bomb freebies. of any type. It doesn't matter what. Preferably 1 fire, 1 ice. But a couple of fire will do just as well. Or 1 fire and 1 fright. And I'll try to explain where all these combinations can fit. Because there's a lot of them. So, Calamari fight will start just like in any percent. You boost Bowser with Geno. You block these. Bowser will throw a firebomb just like in any percent. Hope for freebies. You got a bunch of chances here for just 1 or 2. Okay, here's the difference now. Mario's gonna throw the firebomb first, but since Mario took Since Mario took special, his attack power isn't as good as it could be. And plus, his jump power is also reduced too, because he's not a level higher than he is in any percent. So we actually have to boost Mario in this situation. This is the difference between Big Culex and any percent. And now Mario actually jumps on the tentacle. It doesn't have to be timed, because that tentacle has only 20 HP left. Now the next jump he does have to be timed. So Bowser does the same thing as any percent. He throws a firebomb. Oh, no. Okay, we already got all the freebies we technically need for the whole run with 2 freebies. Even without the Kuro from Booster Pass. Geno will just defend. Mario's going to jump on the Calamari, and this has to be timed. It should deal over 80 damage. And then Bowser throws the last firebomb. Wow, okay, we got a lot of bombs now. This will make the Yaridovik fight even more dynamic. If you get the right bomb count. So, after that, you proceed forward. You jump on this crate, go in this door. To do this room optimally, here's how I do it. I initially just buffer upright. Once I jump over this 3rd cannon on purpose because of that bullet bill. And then after I land, I hold right. And then eventually I hold down right. And then if you don't jump, Mario's going to get pushed off like you saw there, like this. If I don't jump here, see what happens? He just gets pushed off. So if I do that movement again and then jump right there, he's not going to get pushed off. So that's how you want to do that room without stopping. Jump, right, down right, jump. This room, pretty simple. You can jump halfway down the stairs. This guy, this rat, can stop in the middle here. And if he decides to turn him around and run this way, you're going to just land on him. It doesn't happen too often. Now, the reason you don't go this way is that there's an enemy just standing here, and you're going to get into encounter. So you have to go this way. Like that. Now for this room, as soon as the screen goes black, buffer down left, and as soon as the screen fades in and Mario runs a little bit, have him run across the wall like this. When he runs into the clone, he should jump and hit the block. Like that. After that, you can press up left, and then as Mario jumps, he can press left over just enough to hit the Kuro. You do need this Kuro for Yaridovik, so make sure you get it. And then, okay, that was a mistake. Hopefully I don't die here. This is bad. This room that I'm in, where I got this encounter, there's a trick to getting around all the draw bones, but your input has to be spot on. Perfect. Alright. As soon as you get to right there in that big spotlight, hold down from going down left. And you can actually get by the draw bone, and once you're on the stairs, you're automatically going to run down the stairs. like that. Now, normally you don't hit this chest, but since I took damage, I need to hit that for a full heal. It probably won't matter anyway, but it could, because we got the worst room in the game coming up here. So, if you were to not save and you enter this room, buffer down right, and you can actually land on these crates and then go up like that. Buffer up right here, right, up right, and then hopefully you don't hit... Hopefully, one of those little fish don't hog the whirlpool. Now, this next room is the worst room in the game. As soon as you enter, you need to buffer down right. Well, if the fish wasn't in my way first. Buffer down right. You need to hug the wall when you do that. And then jump in about midway point of the stairs and hope that the fish at the bottom does not get in your way. This is a very common area to get an encounter at. So like that, and then boom. Go into the hidden room, get the safety ring. You do not have to do a menu here. So if you're instinctively gonna press X, don't do it. You don't need the safety ring at all until you're rid of it. That's the only fight other than Balloon 2 it's really needed for. Now, I mentioned before that we're hoping for a mushroom drop from these bandana reds. There's 2 fights, and you fight at least 4 bandana reds per fight. And just like any percent, throw a firebomb on each. At this point, if you've already gotten 2... Oh, and there we go. We got a mushroom. Perfect. If you've already gotten 2 freebies, the only really important freebie you might want is an ice bomb. That's about it. Or rock candy. So, the second fight. Another firebomb. Oh, good lord. All these freebies. And we got another mushroom. Cool. Bowser just takes HP. Geno just takes HP. And Mallow just takes HP. Mallow's obsolete, so... And you don't do any equipments here. You go straight to the Johnny fight. Alright, this is the key part of the run. And I'll explain why. 100 super jumps with Mario with the amulet only deals about 654 damage. That is not enough to kill Johnny in one shot. So he has to have some help from bombs that we got. So Geno... it's not really... You can't really boost Mario with Geno and have Bowser throw a firebomb to kill the blues, because the blues are going to attack after Geno. But the firebomb does attack everybody for damage. So this is the mandatory strat for Johnny in Beat Culex. You have to firebomb. And this is all for damage. Now, the blues are weak to fire, and that's why they die in one shot to the firebomb. You cannot throw an ice bomb on the blues. They will not die in one hit. They are not weak to ice. They're weak to fire. And we've already got 120 damage on Johnny, but that does not push him into the red phase, and that's important. Once he's in red, he gets the extra defense. So Bowser is going to throw one of the 2 fright bombs that we bought. Johnny is weak to fright. That allows Mario to deal the extra damage that he needs to do. That allows him to deal the 654. And this deals 100 damage also. So, right now, Johnny has already took 220 damage. He has 820 HP. So he's left with 600. If we hit the 654, we're good. And then this is why you have to hit super jumps first try. And hopefully I get it. Got it. If you deal at least 600, but you drop before you hit 100, he's still gonna die, but you still have to do 100 on Balloon 2, which is the unfortunate thing. Now Mario still takes special. So before I advance any further, I'm going to talk about the Johnny file a little bit more. If he goes red, and you go into the 1v1 phase after that, that means Geno and Bowser are removed from the fight. And if Mario dies, it's a game over. So that's why you don't want to drop if you're going to do 100 on Johnny without a bandana blue sitting there. But in this category, it's kind of mandatory. So, the strat is in stone. You can't change the strat here. You have to use a fire bomb first, then the fright bomb, which will make Johnny take more damage, and that allows Mario to 100 super jump him. The older route that Pidge raid had options for rock candy and energizer, but the rock candy is pretty important for Garrett since Mario won't be level 9 because of the because we're skipping Pandorite. That's a big difference now. So we have to save the rock candy for Yared. And then actually having the rock candy available for Yared makes the fight a lot more doable actually. No problem. What's up, Rerush? So So, there's a lot of ways to approach the Eurydivic fight, depending on what attacks he does. And that's really what you have to do. Now, before Yared, now you're going to bring in Peach. And now you're going to give her the amulet. And then you're going to give Geno the safety ring. Just like... So the equipments are just the same as any percent, only Mario doesn't have the experience booster. It's identical. So, yeah. Geno's safety ring, Peach amulet. And you bring her in for the Yared fight. That's it. So yeah, this is where the run really starts to get, you know, kind of complicated a little bit. Always get him the star first, the first time he asks, to get that flower box for a reward. And that flower box is super key. And you're not gonna sell it for money. That's the thing, and I'll explain why. You don't need it. So, just like before, in any percent, you chase down Yared. I'm going to go through this fight a few times because you have to prioritize your actions based on who gets attacked and by what. It's very important to keep Peach and Mario healed if possible. Now, we're using the old Peach chart strat where we boost Mario instead of Geno. That's the difference here. And I'll explain the fight a little bit as I do each attempt, and you'll see how to get around this fight. The Kira Cola that you got from the ship, you really want this to freebie. The reason being is that if you don't have the Kira freebie later in the fight, you have to heal your FP and your HP separately. You can't heal them in one turn. That's what makes this a little scary in places. So just like before, you boost Peach. Make sure you time boost it. You defend with Mario, and you do the shocker on Yared. When you hear the lower part of the pitch of the bolt, that's when you press. You don't anticipate. You gotta wait for it to hear it. So Water Blast is always first turn. So you're always gonna see this every first turn. Second turn, Geno is going to boost Mario. And now Mario is going to use the Kira Cola immediately. You have to, because look at the HP. They're gonna die if another Water Blast comes. So you use the Kiro here. And Peach does another Shocker. Okay, that is super huge. That's super huge. Here's why. As long as Geno does not get Will-E-Wisp, Geno can use the Kiro. So this is good. Alright, if Geno is alive and you've got the Kiro, you use it now. If not, Geno has to use a mushroom on Peach because she is in danger of dying. But in this case, we've got the Kiro. We're going to use it now. Mario is boosted, and we're going to use the Rock Candy on his turn. Oh my god, it freebied again. Oh, this is going to be the freest fight ever. So Mario uses the boosted Rock Candy for 300 damage. We want this to freebie. Okay, it didn't. So we Shocker with Peach again. Yeah, that luck. Flamestone. Okay, on Mario, that doesn't matter. Okay. Geno, we've already restored FP once. The reason we buy the 6th honey syrup is so that Peach can use the 5th Shocker that she needs to do. Since we used the Kiro early in this fight, she only has enough to do Shocker 4 times. And she has to do a 5th Shocker to make up the damage. But, since we don't have to do that, for safety, if you've got a mushroom, you can heal Mario with it. That'll keep him alive. And 2 bombs have to be boosted. The Fright Bomb here has to be saved for Balloon. So you have to use any freebie fire bombs. And if you don't have a fire bomb, you have to use an ice. So you need to deal 5 Shockers, and then Rock Candy and a boosted fire bomb will kill him. So this should deal nothing. At least it's not threatening. So the only thing we gotta do now is let Peach do Shocker. And he should be dead, I think. Yep, he's dead. We're gonna go through this fight. I'm gonna go through this fight a few times because there's a lot of different RNG that you have to keep up with. And you have to prioritize healing Peach most of the time. Hopefully we can get a fight where we get the Rock Candy freebie. Because in that instance, you just use the Rock Candy again. So yeah, Rock Candy is first priority on bombs. This is kind of like the Axum Ranger fight of Beat Culex. If you freebie the Rock Candy, you throw it boosted again. If you don't, you need to have at least a fire bomb or an ice bomb as the second bomb. That Fright Bomb can also work, but only if you freebied it from Johnny. If you only have the one Fright Bomb, you must save it for Balloon. No questions asked, because he is weak to fear. So we're gonna do some sample Yared fights just to get a feel for what you have to do in every situation. This is really the hardest fight in this run, actually. Knowing what to do in every situation. That's really the hard part. Because there's a lot that can happen. Ooh, a miss. It doesn't matter, though. So we boost Mario, Kiro, Shocker. Okay, no freebie this time, so... Now we have to do a little bit different. It all depends on what Yared does here. Will-E-Wisp, not on Geno, please. Okay, on Peach. Okay, Geno's alive, that's good. We're gonna use Geno to heal Peach. We're gonna give her the mushroom. You still have FP to work with, so you don't have to heal FP right away. Mario will throw the Rock Candy, regardless. he's boosted, so take advantage of that. Okay, no freebie, and we shock her with Peach. You can actually die on this fight, and there's nothing you can do about it if you get bad luck. Ooh, Will-E-Wisp Peach again. Now this is bad, but we still got another honey. We still got another mushroom here. So if you were fortunate to get 2 mushroom drops from the reds, and this happens, you've got a mushroom. If you don't have it, then you have to kind of YOLO it and hope you get lucky. Okay, a freebie. All right, Mario is boosted still, so we're gonna throw. We don't have another fire bomb, so we have to, or a fright bomb, so we have to throw something stronger if we got it. All these fire are extra except for one, and I'll explain why. Okay, if you picked up enough flowers, you may not need the honey syrup. How many flowers has she got? Oh, she's got enough for another one. But normally, I don't have this many flowers in an actual run. In one of my runs, she has like 27, like what you normally have in standard. But in this, but let's just assume that I have a very low FP count, or not enough at all. Either Gino or Mario will use a honey syrup to give her that extra shocker. If you mistime something, you may have to go an extra turn, and then you might die. So that was an okay fight. I got lucky because I had 2 mushrooms. But if I only had 1 mushroom there, Peach could have died before she had a chance to do the last shocker. And if that's the case, then you have to throw a boosted ice bomb on Yerd to deal exactly the same as the missed shocker. So that's what those ice bombs are there for, if you have to resort to them. But there's so much in this fight that can go wrong without your control, because you're so low leveled, and if you don't get the Kiro freebie, that's a big one. Obviously, you want Flamestone on Gino every turn. That's obviously what you want. That's the perfect scenario, but it doesn't always happen. Triple Water Blast is very, very bad. You can if you get Triple Water Blast, you can game over. Even if you do everything correctly, you can still die. So, yeah, the first 2 turns are always the same. What happens afterward, it gets a little messy. So, you boost Peach, defend Shocker. Now you boost Mario, Hero Shocker. So you're using the same 2 turns, the same strat as you did on Peach chart. Back to the old route. Will-E-Wisp. Okay, this is unfortunate. Now that Gino's dead, you just skip any healing right now. You throw the rock candy with Mario. He always throws the rock candy turn 3. And Peach always shockers. Okay. Flamestone Mario. He's going to throw the second boosted bomb just to go ahead and get that out of the way. We'll do that. He should live on the next turn, hopefully. Okay, if Mario's alive, he has to heal Peach's FP. Perfect. So, assume that I don't have enough for this final shocker. This is what you have to do on the last turn. Use the honey syrup, and then Peach does the final shocker. Boom. I want to see if I can get a rock candy freebie before I move on to Land's End. Because if we get the rock candy freebie, I'm gonna show you something pretty sick. Hopefully. I doubt I could do it live, but I've tested it and it works. It's perfect. It's just really, really hard to do live. I may have to make a recording of it just to prove the strat that I'm gonna do. Or the strat that you can do on Culex, which is sick. But I'll cover that later. So once again, another sample fight. Make sure you time boost these boosts or you're in trouble. So Yared will always do Water Blast first turn. So that's not really scary. It's what happens afterwards. Okay, Mario uses the Kiro here. No freebie. Wisp on Mario, okay? We're gonna use Gino's turn to heal Mario. Oh, nice freebie. We're gonna use the rock candy. Now, if he gets Willy Wisp again, he'll die, but that's not a big deal. No freebie. I want that freebie. Okay, cool. Alright. Since Gino isn't really needed except for healing, we've already healed HP. Now we're gonna heal the FP that we need for that 5th shocker here. Mario can throw the 2nd boosted bomb that we need to throw. Has to be a fire bomb at least. Unless you have a spare fright, that is. If you have 2 frights, you can throw 1. And it'll still be enough. So all we got now is the last shocker. Alright, there's a couple of examples that should give you an idea of what to do against every attack. We haven't gotten the triple water blast yet. It's something I hope you don't see, because it's almost like unwinnable. It's winnable, but you have a low shot of getting by. You have to get really lucky. You have to hope a miss comes somewhere. I'll see if I can get the rock candy on this one. If not, I'll just move on to Land's End. And I'll talk about the rock candy freebie scenario when I get to the end of the run. And then after the end of the run, I'll cover Clown Manip afterwards in detail. So first turn, you boost Peach. Defend Shocker. And Shocker is always the last spell on her list, so you just press up, and it wraps around to the bottom of her spell list. Boost Mario. Hero Shocker. Uh-oh. Double Water Blast. We didn't get the Kero freebie either, so this is a little scary now. Now, in this scenario, you prioritize Peach heal. Heal her HP first. She has to survive. And we throw the rock candy while we can with Mario and hope it freebies or not. Doesn't matter. We gotta throw the rock. Oh, okay. All right. Now I gotta get through this fight. Speaking of rock candy freebie. Oh, triple water blast. Okay, this is why you have to heal Peach. Now say you can die here. If you have a mushroom, you can take a pit stop and do that. In which I would probably do that actually. But you have a choice. I'm gonna play it safe. I'm gonna heal her. So this is where the fight can get another turn. And you can die from it. So I'm gonna throw the fire first. Please don't kill her. Oh. Only because I had the extra. Oh, that didn't kill. Oh, that didn't kill. But she didn't die either. Okay, this is where you have to kind of wing it. All right. Now that is how you get by. You got to get lucky. I got lucky. I could have died there. Peach takes special here because she is still utilized for one more fight, and that's Balloon 2. Okay. Alright, now that I got this rock candy freebie, now I'm going to explain a cool strat later. So, you free the townspeople, and you get your flower box as a reward. Now, this flower box you're not going to sell because you don't need to sell the flower box. Because you have coins from all these fights in the ship. Let me get through Seaside and I'll explain why. Go talk to the real Elder to open up Land's End. And then before you leave, you want to make an equipment change. This text you're going to get automatically because you didn't talk to the Frog Disciple before. And then on your way out, you enter the menu, you go to Equip, you swap Mario and Peach accessories. Now the reason before, like when we did the equipments for the Clown Manip, that it skipped over Bowser because he didn't have an accessory, that's because he didn't have an accessory to take. The reason now that we select accessory and it highlights Peach is because she's got one to take. So you swap these two's accessories and you swap these two's accessories. That's all you do before you go to Land's End. So you just go down to accessory, A down A, and then A down A. That's all you do. You just move the accessories up a character and you exit. You don't buy weapons because you're not going any further than Culex. You're not going to Mega Smilax or beyond. Now, let's look at our coin count. We got 322 coins. We need 450 for the second star, and we need 50 for the fortune. However, there's a 50 coin box at the fortune. However, we're also getting coins from the armored ants as we fight them to get to Land's End. So we're going to get more coins than this. So you don't have to sell any. You don't sell the flower box that you just got. You keep it. You're going to add that to your flower count. Now I'm going to save here. At the very start of this area, you want to jump on. I just exited the area automatically. I've never done that before. You want to jump on this ledge, and then grab that hidden red essence. That is for Culex. If you opted to keep the red essence freebie from Bunt, you can probably still pick this one up anyway. So you can either jump on the lift like that, or if you want to use the cannon, wait for the screen to stop scrolling up, and then before the cannon does the rotation like that, you press jump right when the camera stops scrolling, and that gives you the medium shoot. Because that's important on this next screen here. You're gonna hold upright up until this part right here. This little patch of grass that Mario's feet are in between, that's where the platform is. You just jump up, jump in there, wait for the camera to stop, and then launch. You don't want to launch too hard, or you go into the dog pit and you trigger the dogs, and then it's hard to run away from. Now, if you want that Kuro, there's a hidden Kura Cola. If you want, you can activate that lift, which is right under the this square right here. You have to be in front of the dog hole on this side to trigger it. And then you fully launch, and then the hidden is right there under that square, and then you move on. You can play it safe through here, which I do. And now for the fast flower launch. So just like in Bandit's Way, we want to face up like this when we start rotating around the flower. So we need to land on the bottom part of the flower right here. Now these bees are in a cycle when they when you spawn the screen. So you gotta do this pretty accurately. Like that. Now, you didn't notice that I didn't jump immediately, because that's where the bee is. You have to wait for the bee to get out of the way before you do this. And I don't run here. I just be patient and do the flower jumps. Here, I usually hold up and I land on this donut automatically, and I just go across like that. But you can also wait here, and you can skip a couple of donuts and land on the third one and do that. Now, this is where, now those ice bombs that we bought, now this is where those come into play. We only have 3, and we've got 4 ant fights. So we would really like to have one of these freebie. In the case that we don't have a 4th ice bomb, if we have a fire bomb, which we kind of really need, this is where that second freebie that I talked about earlier comes into play. If you don't have an ice for the 4th ant fight, you have a boosted fire bomb, and that will do just as good. So we're going to use our ice bombs first and hope we get a freebie. And Gino is going first, so that if we have to use a boosted firebomb, he boosts Peach, and Peach throws the firebomb. So we didn't get a freebie there. So you want to have at least 4 bombs coming into this section of the game. If you had the box drop, you would have all your ice already, and you wouldn't have to worry. No freebie, that's fine. HP for Gino, HP for Mallow. We would also like an Ice Bomb for Balloon 2. That does simplify that strat a little bit, but it's not required. And that's what the Fright Bomb and the Shocker are for. So we throw the last ice here on the 3rd ant and hope it freebies. And it does. Obviously. My luck, obviously. Mario takes special here at level 9. Bowser is obsolete now. He's not used again. So, now that we got our 4th Ice Bomb, we're going to use it here. If it freebies, we use it for Balloon 2. No. So, fine. So now our Balloon 2 strat is already decided. It's, I'll explain that when we get there. But first, the Land's End Star here. You will get pauses here, so you may not kill all the geckos, but you should still kill enough. So you do the same thing. Here's where you get the pause. And see, you didn't get that gecko there because of the pause. I think if I did the movement a little different, I'll get that gecko and I'll be fine. I don't think it really matters regardless. Mario is still going to reach level 11 when we get to Culex, but if you do the movement, well, I just messed that up. If you don't do the 2 dogs first and come back and do the other 2 dogs, I think you can still get the other gecko. I think. But your movement has to be super, super tight. God, that was horrible. It's very important to kill all the enemies above the on the first floor before you get to the basement floor. At least. Otherwise, you're going to be short experience. And then Mario may not make it to level 11 by Culex. Oh god, that was awful. So this star is pretty difficult because of the pauses. That's what makes it a little harder. But the way that I went through the experience route, yeah, there's just no way you can fix this. It's just something you have to deal with. But I think you're good as long as you were up to experience route at this point anyway. We're going to try that and see if it works. There's no save until Culex anyway. So if Mario doesn't reach 11, it's no big deal. If you have the Ice Bomb freebie for Balloon, you don't have to choose special for Peach on that particular level. However, if you do have to use a Shocker, you do have to pick special. But just pick special anyway, just to streamline the process. So you see, we have 442 coins. Now, when we get to the fortune, we're probably going to have to hit the chest once or twice to have enough coins. But that doesn't matter. As long you should have at least 400. Regardless. It's pretty much guaranteed. If you're short a gecko, hope for that Makura to spawn in that room as you come down the stairs. You can kill it and make up for the experience. You don't pay for the trampoline, you just pass by it. I don't have 50 coins, so I have to hit the chest. Probably just hit the chest 5 times to ensure that you got your money. And you do the same thing as you do in any percent. You hit the tongues in the same order. Everything here is the same. The Balloon 2 strat is just different. You have to do more super jumps. That's the only really big difference. So we got the wrong fortune. You have to go back and hit it again. There we go. So, Balloon 2. Okay. It's basically you always throw the Fright Bomb with Geno, regardless. The freebie doesn't matter. If Peach has an Ice Bomb to throw, you throw it. And then Mario does 61 super jumps. However, if Peach does not have an ice to throw, you have to do a shocker. And hope that it does 195, which it does. And then Mario has to do one extra super jump. So it's either Fright Ice 61 or Fright Shocker 62. And you should get 911 for super jump damage if you have to do 62. If you do 61, it should be 898. And there you go. Mario reaches level 11 just in time for Culex. And he's took special on every level up. So now all that's left is to beat Culex, and the big Culex RTA run is complete. So first, you go into the second door, collect your super suit and your attack scarf. Examine the door next to it, and the shiny stone will unlock it. Now, if you're going to safety save, go ahead. Before you save or enter the fight, you enter your item list. You use the flower box on yourself to get you 5 additional flowers. That's why you don't need to sell the flower box, because that gives you an extra 5 flowers to work with. Very key. Any bombs you have left, you can throw on Culex with any surviving characters other than Mario. If they get a chance to survive, they may not get a chance. So we've got a red essence to protect Mario. And we have some extra small items that we really won't be needing, probably, but they're there in case you need to heal. And now that the shiny stone has made its use, we don't really toss it. We just use the flower box, and we give Mario the super suit and the attack scarf, and that's it. And Peach keeps the safety ring on. Now, there was that strat I was talking about with the rock candy. Should you get it to Culex? And here it is. I'm going to try it. I probably won't get the strat. But what it is, turn 1, you throw the rock candy with Mario unboosted for 200 damage. And then the damage just so happens to match up. If you can get 100 super jumps on Culex, with Mario at level 11, it deals 1,948 damage. Do that 2 volleys in a row, and it deals exactly 4,096 damage to kill Culex in 3 rounds. So I have the rock candy. If you don't have the rock candy with Mario, so we need to allocate our super jumps first. We have to use 4 FP on Mario with Geno Boost. So subtract 4 from your count. That leaves me with 36 flowers, or 37. And every round of super jumps takes 7 FP. So I have 5 rounds of super jumps in this tutorial. Normally, on a high-level run, you only have maybe 4. Room for 4 sets of super jumps. But here is the strat for turn 1. If you have the rock candy with Mario, throw it at Culex for 200 damage. If not, you can throw any other bomb you might have, but save your FP. If you're confident in super jumps, go for as many as you can. But if you have the rock candy, throw it. And then if I can hit 200 super jumps, boosted on Culex, he's dead. Exactly. Now, once the crystals respawn, we're gonna boost Mario. You can time this if you want. And then Peach will throw the essence before, she'll throw the essence on Mario before the crystals go. So now we just wait. And you're hoping for... Okay, Peach has the safety ring, so most of the attacks that she's going to take, she'll live, except from Earth Crystal. Oh, but Earth Crystal did Sandstorm, so that's pretty weak. Alright, there we go. Perfect so far. I wasn't ready to block that. Probably wouldn't have mattered. That physical has no timing, I don't think. Perfect! That is the perfect Culex fight. That is the first time I've ever done that. Ever. That is the perfect fight. That is the highlight of the night. That is proof that that strat worked right there. Rock Candy plus 200 super jumps. That is the optimal strat. 200 super jumps plus Rock Candy. And I can't believe I got it. Now, timing ends when the experience box opens. When you see 244 experience, that's when time ends. Master Super Jumper. And that's it for the tutorial. Now I'm going to go back and explain Clown Manip and how to execute it. That was probably the last crucial thing I'll cover. So, in order to do the Clown Manip, you gotta really get in tune with the music. You gotta know the music, you gotta know the notes, you have to kind of know where to press the button. So, we're just gonna go, I'm not gonna do any manipulation because I can't. Not with this. So, at the start of the fight, you're going to count in measurements a little bit to time these attacks. So, at the very beginning, when the intro comes and, you know, they're walking, that all plays a part. So, when you hear the dun, 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 and then when the horn goes da 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 da, the second half of that long note is when you start the Geno attack. So I'm going to count in movements here. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And you hit on this higher note. That when you watch the Clown Manip in action, you'll understand the notes that you actually do it on. Now, since I didn't block with Mario, I can't do anything. So you're gonna hear the horn go da 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 da, attack on that, and then when you hear the next part of the music, where you hear the da 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 da, that first long note is when you confirm the terrorize. So we're gonna go. I'm gonna go over the first two manipulated commands. Now, it doesn't matter if you're playing English or Japanese. The cues are the same as long as you do the manip correctly. You have less time in English because of the extra text. On that note there. Now, on the first Rock Candy freebie, you're going to hear the dun 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 dun. Like there. That note there. That's a 10-frame window. That was late. Now, the freebie text clear is very, very tricky. At the very end of the music, before it loops again, you're going to hear the ending go dun 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 dun. The first two dun-duns, that's where the freebie text is cleared. You clear it after, when you hear the first, but before the second note there. It's very, very quick. And when I clear freebie text, I clear using the down on the D-pad. I don't use a face button. Because you have to prepare to block a physical if you get it. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. That part right there. That was late. If you're a frame late, you'll get the sleep attack. You have a 6-frame window. The first 4 frames of the freebie text clear, you'll get Great Guy attacking Bowser. If it's the last 2 frames, Great Guy will attack Mario. If Great Guy goes for Mario, you have to block it. It doesn't matter if it goes for Bowser. Okay. This is a tricky throw. And I'll try to explain it afterwards. I'm not gonna attack here. I'm gonna wait for that cue again. So you're gonna hear the music go da, 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 right here. When you hear the first da, da, that part, you wait for the first da, da, and then when you hear the next note, you wait to hear it, then you press. You don't press on that note. You press after the note. That's the tricky part of the Clown Manip, is that second rock candy throw to freebie. If it freebies, it won't impact the fight itself, but it will impact the fact that you don't have a rock candy for Eurydivic later. That's the big issue. If you don't get the second rock candy freebie. If you don't get the first, well, you're not going to have a rock candy to throw on the second one. So, here comes the second throw. It's da-da, the throw. Here it comes. I'll wait for that next note before I throw it. Once you get the second freebie, nothing else really matters. If Mario doesn't deal at least 120, Great Guy could deal a physical on Mario or Geno likely. It doesn't matter. But if you can get the 120 plus, you're good. But if you watch my actual PB or watch any run that does Clown Manip correctly, you'll see where the musical cues are. Now, the reason why you have to land on the save block before you do Clown Manip is because if you you have to enter the fight on an even frame. If you land on the bottom of the oscillation, it takes one less frame or one more frame for Mario to land on the ground to start movement. And that means if your movement is still the same, you're entering the fight on the odd RNG frame, which means you're getting the opposite RNG, which means all the cues that you use won't work. So that's why when you jump on the save block to do Clown Manip, you have to make sure that Mario lands on the block at the top of the oscillation. And then once you do save and reset, you're good to go. But that is basically how you beat Culex in RTA. The world record is 136.09. And that's pretty good, actually. So with that, the Beat Culex tutorial is concluded. Thanks for watching and good luck. Enjoy the category.